Catch it, match it, stash it in the cabinet. Listen to the chorus while let Ivan scratch it. This is real hip hop, we aiming for a classic. And if we can't approach it, screw it, we'll attack it. Catch it, match it, stash it in the cabinet. Listen to the chorus while let Ivan. This is real hip hop, we aiming for a classic. And if we can't approach it, screw it, we'll attack it.
What you know about classic music?
What happened?
So, why am I here? Why am I here?
Well, technology sucks, and I tried doing this with Zero, and I know you're on your break. But my technology sucked, and Zero wasn't audible, and Zero didn't want to do this again. But you're kind of the reason we're here too, because I was gonna let this retro slide, but you're like, no, I'll just do it with you. So this is kind of on you a little bit. So
this is kind of on me a little bit. I will give you that. But what have we learned?
Check audio.
Check audio on everything, right?
I know how to check the audio on the other end.
So this isn't gonna happen again, right? During my break, right? Okay.
I can't. Yeah, technology is going to be technology.
Technology will be technology, but if you check it beforehand, you'll be good. Because the reason it happened is because you had issues with the power soft, and that's why.
Now we know.
And now we know.
Hey, we're both suffering here. I have to review the show twice, okay?
That is fair. That is fair. Oh, man. And what a shit show this was. Now.
Yeah.
Should we have music in the background as we cover this shit show at this point?
That's on you. That's up to you. You know.
Yeah. Because I got all the shits and whatnot. I can play it.
You're gonna know what it is, but I won't until I watch the video. So.
That is true. The last what was it? The Aftershock and Spark. You didn't know what the fuck the songs were gonna be, and then it's like
I actually keep forgetting to check.
Yeah. Luckily, there's it's just video game music that is no longer able to be copyrighted. So we good. Yeah.
There you go. Like I didn't even know Zero did it in the Aftershock video.
Zero did it by accident, but I'm like, oh shit, this actually gives us a good option.
He said he was just bullshitting around on his computer and stuff like that too. So
yeah, he was, yeah. All right, I know how we're gonna do this. I'm gonna.
Yeah, we're just doing this on camera, by the way. You know, just
yeah. You're fine. All right, I got it going. By the way. All
so
right.
yeah, we're reviewing Halloween Havoc 1998. Yes. Again, for my sake, anyways. But yeah, so I recorded this episode with Zero like the Monday before Halloween Havoc Night 2. You know, we were all excited. Well, I don't want to say excited because Zero wasn't excited.
It was not an exciting time.
But you know, it looked like you were actually gonna. This was like the one video too you were able to get out like before. You know, and then obviously, you were gonna get out before, and then
everything went to shit, and then that wasn't gonna be the case.
Yeah. So then, what happened was I scheduled my week. Like Monday that week was the only weekday I could do the retro because I scheduled everything around because something was coming up that week. I don't remember what it was. I remember there was I don't think there was a pay-per-view last week, so I don't know what it would have been, but. I think that was just one of those weeks I scheduled my videos every day that week, and I couldn't. there were certain videos I couldn't move around because it just wasn't going to happen. Oh, Crown Jewel was that week too. So
yes, it was. Yeah, Crown Jewel.
That's what it
that
was.
Week, yeah.
And of course, it's like one of those, if I could watch it live, But yeah, so then we were gonna do it. We were gonna record it anyways Monday, but then I did 2 videos on Sunday, so I'm like, yeah, I don't really feel like doing that. And then yeah, this is just behind the scenes. Yeah, we were gonna record this today. Originally, we were gonna record this at 2:30 in the afternoon, but you didn't. Yeah, you were very sleepy. And then
I woke up at fucking 9:30 as opposed to 8:30. I guess he had a technological issue before I even woke up, so he wouldn't have been able to do it at that time if I tried.
Yeah, so it's kind of a good. This is where you sleeping in worked out because it would have been one of those things where I've been like, yeah, we're not doing this. I was very pissy. I was having those technological issues, but like I had an half hour. I'm still pretty mad about it, so I'm just gonna take all my anger on this show more than I would have. So,
hey, that's how you do it. There you go.
But yeah, let's just give a warning, by the way. James watched the show more recently than I have. I watched the show the Monday that Zero and I did the retro. I have not watched the show since then. So,
yeah.
I remember most things that happened, but some things I was just a blur.
Yeah.
I remember who wins every match and how they win every match at least, so that's good.
I mean, it's kind of hard to forget what the amount of fucking finishes that are on this show.
But yeah, I haven't looked at my notes or anything like that, so this is going to be kind of an in real time reaction a little bit. I know that's not like the nature of how the retro is supposed to be done, but I wasn't watching the show again. I'm like, yeah, I remember I kept telling you all week, yeah, I'm just gonna sit down and watch it again. I'm like, I knew I wasn't gonna watch the show again. I just finally told you, yeah, I'm not watching the show again. Like,
I don't blame you. This show's hard to get through when you watch the OSW video of it.
Yes.
Like, even in the hour and a half, it's hard, but at least they make it funny. This show's a goddamn drag. Oh, Zero commented busy.
Well,
Bussy.
on the Discord chat.
Yeah, he commented bussy. Hi, Zero. Hello.
I think he meant, I don't know if he went to write busy or pussy. I don't know.
Bussy.
So.
Bussy, that's what he wrote. Alright.
Is that a real word? Is that a real word?
Don't look it up, but yes. Yes, It is. Yes,
now, I learned something new today, sort of, then. So.
Yeah, you don't want to know what it is. Just keep your mind pure, bro.
By the way, Zero's commented. Oh, that's going to be his opener on Spoke next week. By the way, he's gonna say what the definition of that word is. By the way, that's going to happen. So it's
Oh yeah, I'm sure.
But anyhow, yeah, let's just start talking about this show. Wrestling at this time, I think I talked about this. Let's talk about what the state of wrestling was. Zero, since you're here, there's a fact you threw in when we covered WCW Halloween Havoc about a Japan promotion. I don't remember what it was, but if you want to...
Let's be clear. He's not hearing a goddamn word we're saying. This is still recorded. He's in the Discord chat. So.
Oh, okay. I thought he could come in and listen to it, and then
Nah. He ain't gonna want to listen about this show again. I already asked him straight up.
Okay. I've been using Discord for 2 years, and I still don't know how this shit works. Apparently.
Yeah,
so,
you're fine. You're fine.
But anyhow, so yeah, wrestling at this time, I think I've talked about it in 1998. This is the hottest period in wrestling. Every company was booming. WWF was doing really well. This is when because this show takes place in October. This is when WWF was really kicking into high gear. They made really new stars in the main event scene. The mid-card division was about to boom. The tag division was pretty solid. It wasn't booming, but it was still very solid. And yeah, just everything. They were really starting to make new stars. Just WWF was pretty much, this is the beginning, the height of the Attitude Era right here, where they make their explanation. I know the Attitude Era started at WrestleMania 14, but this is kind of when we get the fully established stars of the Attitude Era.
Oh yeah,
so,
yeah, for sure.
Yeah, that's really cool. WCW, you're not gonna know from what we say about this show, but it was still pretty much booming at this time. It's just they were
the booking
slowly...
was falling off because Bischoff gave up because of the AOL Time Warner thing. I mean, that's essentially what was going on behind the scenes.
This show is, I mean, Halloween 1990. Sorry, not Halloween Havoc. Starrcade 1997 happened. The main event, which will be a retro in itself, and you know, the main event was a huge bomb, and then, but the company was still relatively hot, and then they split the NWO up, and they were just starting to make a lot of bad booking decisions.
Which could have worked, by the way, but everything went against them on that front as well. Macho Man was supposed to be the leader. He ended up bouncing for a bit.
Yeah.
And then it was just all done from there. They had no way they could fucking salvage that. So
right, and then this show is what kind of, you know, what causes WCW to really fall off a little bit. Which they could have bounced. I mentioned this. They could have bounced back even from this show, but then they just didn't. But then ECW though, which is kicking all types of ass with Extreme Championship Wrestling just being that hardcore. Option for the hardcore fan base. They were just really firing away in all cylinders pretty much. They were just doing really well. Basically the same thing as the WWF, except, you know, it was just a TV, MA, and not as great video production and everything like that. But ECW was just kicking all the ass in the world and everything like that. It was doing really well.
Yeah.
This is not long after Heat Wave. It's only a couple months.
Yeah, literally only a couple months after their greatest show of all time.
And then New Japan and AAA is doing relatively well. They still have the partnership with WCW going, but they still don't have quite the mainstream exposure like they do nowadays because, you know, obviously streaming services and stuff like that aren't really a thing. But they're still doing relatively well at this time and everything like that. And then, there's indie promotions in Japan that are even doing really well. There's really good feuds that are going on there. So, like, you know, the wrestling business, even in the indie leagues, is really booming at this time. Even though we don't have ROH and what we go to, but you know,
it's big time booming the whole industry at this point.
Yeah, kind of, almost like it kind of is nowadays, except you know, it's without the internet. I think that's the best thing, which honestly, you would probably still be watching if that was the case.
Yes, I would be. And I've been watching here and there, but again, I'm not looking to cover this shit on the internet because it ruins your enjoyment of the products.
Oh yeah. What do you? Oh, and that's just why, like, you have to cover this, so it's probably hurt your enjoyment more. Hey, I just want you to remember. You hate the fact you have to cover this. I have to cover this twice, okay? So,
that is true.
This is my second time covering this. I think the reason that you probably mentioned how come I was able to watch Bash at the Beach 2000 again versus this. I didn't watch the whole show of Bash at the Beach 2000, so I was able to kind of get through. I didn't even get to the bad bits really of it yet, as you've heard. But this, I watched the whole show. I wasn't watching this whole show again twice.
Yeah. I would argue, and the more I think about it, this show actually might be worse than Bash at the Beach 2000. It honestly
not quite for me, but we can debate that at the end of the video.
Yeah, for sure.
I think why I'm making a lot of comparisons to that is because you're on that one too, so you know, and that's the last video you did. It was supposed to be, so
it was, and then.
But yeah, let's get to the. Let's just start talking about all this stuff. The poster's pretty cool, I guess. It's the VHS poster I'm looking at on Wikipedia. It's just Hollywood Hulk Hogan choking the Warrior with the NWO weight belts, which is what happens in the match. So you know that's pretty cool, I guess. So, cool for '98, you know, technology. You know, the promotion for this show is World Championship Wrestling, which is its brand. This is when I guess they got away from doing the WCW NWO brand because I remember I'm pretty sure on one of the pay-per-views that we covered, I think it was '97. They were it was both represented by WCW and the NWO, but not here. So I guess this is when they completely moved on from that idea. The date of the show was October 25th, 1998, which, you know, would have been cool because when Zero and I did the show, it was like 2 days after the show happened in 1998, like the anniversary of it and stuff. So, you know, but again, you can't have it all.
No, you can't. You really can't.
The city of this show was Paradise, Nevada. So, you know, that's cool.
Was it
the
Paradise?
venue was,
I thought it was Las Vegas, Nevada, because it's in the
No,
MGM Grand.
No, it's Paradise, Nevada. It says according to Wikipedia. So
Paradise, Nevada. Is that where MGM Grand is?
Yeah, it is because it says venue MGM Grand Garden Arena. So,
yeah, let me look.
Yeah, go ahead.
MGM
Yeah, it says.
Grand.
Well, it's on the Las Vegas Strip in Paradise, Nevada. Maybe that's what you're thinking of.
Yeah, that's what it is.
So there you
Yeah,
go.
Las Vegas. It says Las Vegas, Nevada now, so maybe it was Paradise, Nevada back then, but yeah, it's Las Vegas now. They might have just made Paradise into Las Vegas. I don't know.
And obviously nowadays, this venue has been very famous for wrestling shows, even more so now with AEW having their first few shows there, and WWE/F now doing shows. So that's cool.
Yeah.
The attendance for the show was 10,663 people. Yeah, that's a fairly solid attendance. You know, good stuff. The tagline. You want to guess the tagline of this show? Because they had 0 guests, but do you want to guess what the tagline was for the show? Don't look it up.
I'm not gonna look it up. Let's see.
So think about what Bash of the Beach 2000 was. It was very fitting for what the show ended up becoming.
The match of the century. I don't know.
It's the night when good battles evil. So,
oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, OSW said that. I didn't know that was the tagline. I thought that was just something they made up for their fucking series.
No, it's the night when good battled evil.
Okay, so yeah, it is that. Okay.
So yeah, let's just start talking about this pay-per-view right here. So we have your production team, your commentary team, and everything like that. Your on-screen personnel. The commentary team is Tony Schiavone, Bobby the Brain Heated, and Mike Tenay. I would say the biggest positive of the whole show was the commentary team. The commentary team is truly excellent on this show.
Yes.
Especially, you would expect Mike Tenay would have been able to hang with Heenan and Schiavone just because of how good they are, but he really keeps up with Heenan and Schiavone.
Tenay is such an underrated commentator. Like, everybody just remembers his time in TNA with fucking Don West and even Taz, but people don't realize how great of a commentator he was even back then. He was the reason why a lot of the cruiserweights got a lot of backstory, because he knew all their backstory and he educated the audience with like vignettes and stuff. That's why Ultimate Dragon is so revered. He owes a lot of that to Mike Tenay.
Wasn't his whole gimmick too like he was like the one that knew he would always commentate the cruiserweight matches pretty much? That was his thing.
He was the one that knew about the cruiserweights, yeah.
I feel like the reason, too, a lot of people don't think of his work is because of Brian and Vinny, because Brian will always trash his work in TNA and everything like that.
Whatever.
More specifically, 2009 through 2011, maybe even 2012.
2009 to 2011, the whole company fell off, so I don't blame him.
Yeah, so... Your red announcers for this show were David Pencer and Michael Buffer. Michael Buffer does one match on this show, though, so it's mainly David Pencer that's doing it.
Yes.
We've done...
At least he didn't Michael Buffer didn't screw up like he did Bret Hart once during the build-up of the show. You know, he called him Bret the Hitman Clark.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
That's where that comes from.
Literally the way he announced it was... he announces it like... He is the hitman of professional wrestling, the man with all the money, Bret Hitman Clark. I'm like,
no.
Michael.
And with how senile and like angry Bret Hart is nowadays, you know he hasn't forgotten that. So
why would he? It's like,
anyhow,
fuck this bitch. How senile is he? He's angry.
Well, yeah. But anyhow, so we've done career retrospectives on all the ringside personnel. The only thing new we can say about Mike Tenay is that he's now a TNA Hall of Famer, which is cool. So that's good for him. Slash Impact Hall of Famer, because they haven't made the switch yet. And then referees for this show were Scott Dickinson, Mikey J, Nick Patrick, Charles Robinson, and Billy Silverman. I think we've done career retrospectives on all these people because they show up at 1995 Halloween Havoc or 97. They show up on both those shows. Potentially Bash of the Beach 2002. So they show up. We all show up there.
Yay! So we don't have to do anything.
Yeah, we had the intro for the show. The intro for the show was relatively solid. You know, shows all the build up for the matches, like Hogan versus Warrior, Hall versus Nash, and what was advertised on this show as brother versus brother, Steiner versus Steiner, and DDP versus Goldberg. So yeah, relatively decent video intro here. I thought they could have done a little bit better, knowing with how big of a company that it was, but it was still decent enough. They had all of the, they had it all spooky and everything like that since it was Halloween.
It's a really awesome set, by the way.
Yeah, so
like probably top tier set of all time.
Yeah, so the set for the show, they have grave sites next to the stage and everything like that in the arena. They have the big pumpkin, which is awesome.
They have haunted house Titantrons. And they have the fucking pumpkin, the inflatable pumpkin with the ghoul over the pumpkin.
That's cool.
I love it.
And then they have like anytime somebody comes out for like their entrance, when they show their name graphic, it will be all spooky too. Like there'll be like lightning bolts that come out.
I think they have like fog machines too when they come out as well, just to add like to the spooky nature of it. It's really good.
Yeah, I liked that. And some people's theme music on the show will be all spooky, which we'll get into. And then we had a Nitro Ghost segment. They were just dancing in the wind. That's it.
Dude. So, I found out why they even had this first Nitro Girls segment. I mean, it's obvious if you actually watch the show. Because they had no other matches announced up until this point.
Oh, okay.
How do you have Nitro, Worldwide, Thunder, and you cannot find time on your programming to announce fucking matches? You can run down the card during somebody's entrance if they didn't see those 3 shows. That would have easily been suffice. You chose, let's add a Nitro Girls segment here so we can run down the card. What the fuck? Yeah,
that's insane.
The key is in the name. Nitro Girls. They aren't Havoc Girls. They are Nitro Girls. Why are they on pay-per-view? No buys.
Not at all.
What the fuck?
Yeah, I'm gonna make a lot of comparisons to the first video I made of this that you never saw. Basically, anytime I do these segments, when Zio and I just talk about it, we're just like, yeah, they dance and that's all that happened. And Zio's just like, yeah, move on, because we don't know what to say about
these.
They showed these four times on this show.
Yeah, and they wonder why the pay-per-view got cut, by the way. I mean, Jesus Christ.
But yeah, this was just, they just danced. That's all that happened. I could maybe see them doing it once. I'd be like, okay, if they did this once, I think I said in the last one, I would complain about it, then move on. But they do this 4 times throughout the show. 4 times. It's like, really? Like, I'm not, like, that's stuff that you do on TV, because this isn't Nitro. Like you just said, this is not Nitro.
Yes. It felt like a giant-ass TV show, this show. Which is not the feeling you want for one of the biggest pay-per-views on your calendar. You don't do that.
And look, we could give a lot of shit to AEW and everything like that, but I just find it funny because Eric Bischoff trashes them all the time on 83 weeks, so I just want to make sure I mention this. I find it funny, the All Out 2021, I think, is the biggest example of this. They had one 2-hour show and then Rampage for an hour. Let's also not forget, Rampage, doing the build-up to All Out, didn't even come into effect for like 3 weeks, but they still found a way to get to announce all the matches in before All Out even happened.
Yes, and they also had a countdown show on top of that right after Rampage. Where they announced more shit, I think.
You're right, yeah.
The only match, I think there was one match that was thrown together at last minute, and that was for the goddamn pre-show. That was it. And the
But the
promo
pre-show,
was
that's
fucking
what-
outstanding. So it's like, come on now.
Yeah. I mean, the biggest example I can give is like Miro and Eddie Kids, and if you remember, that feud was just built on Rampage, and they had like barely any time, but like they still made that shit work. It's,
Yeah,
like,
you're
insane.
right.
Like,
Yeah, you're right.
But yeah, so yeah, that happened. And when I did this the first take, I just jumped right into a match. I think I didn't open my notes. I'm just like, oh, it kicked off. It kicked off right with the match. Is that that's what you do on pay-per-views, right? Unless it's like a rare exception.
It's a Rick Steiner pay-per-view. Mean Gene comes in and he's like, well, Rick Steiner, if you are able to face your brother Scott Steiner. Your thoughts on the matter. And then Rick Steiner, like an absolute fucking buffoon, goes on the microphone and says, "Well, you see, Mean Gene, he's just gonna be another opponent that I teach him a lesson." I'm like,
Yeah.
this is the biggest match of your career. This is a singles match with your goddamn brother. It's not just who turned on you. This isn't just another opponent. What are you talking about? He just completely buried the feud.
Imagine Johnny Gargano and Tommaso Ciampa doing their feud in NXT.
Yeah,
Like,
fucking Johnny Gargano in his backstage vignette. I'm gonna teach you a lesson. You're just another opponent in my way to the NXT Championship. I would have fucking lost it. What the fuck?
Especially because he wins the belt later in the year, so that would have been even more
Oh
hilarious.
my god, that would have been fucking jokes, dude, if he said that and then he wins the belt. What's the belt from Cole?
No, because don't forget, he wins the belt from Black, actually, so that would have been even more funny.
That's
Like,
right, he does win the... Does he win the belt? No, he wins the NXT North American title from Black, I think.
No, I'm off
Oh,
topic.
no, yeah, you're right. Fucking Ciampa wins the belt from Black, yeah.
So it would have been hilarious if he cuts that promo.
That would have been funny as hell. Fucking so dumb, dude. What a guy Rick Steiner is, huh?
But then it gets worse. By the way, too, he's just talking, by the way. I'm going to say what he said in like 3 sentences. He basically said that he's going to kick Scott Steiner's ass. Buff Bagwell comes out, and Buff Bagwell lately has left the NWO
Dude!
Hollywood.
He left the NWO Hollywood, right? And he acts like he doesn't like what they've done.
Yes.
The problem with this angle is they have already done the angle where Buff Bagwell pretended he didn't like what Scott Steiner was saying about his mother. Turned out that whole thing was a ruse.
Mm-hmm.
And it was bullshit from the word go. Buff Bagwell, not looking sincere at all,
Yep.
says, hey, look, the NWO, they're going to have interference. I want to watch your bag tonight. And Rick Steiner stupidly accepts his offer.
Yep.
Dude, this is dumber than Sting ever could dream of being. Because at least Ric Flair was convincing. You know what I mean? Like, this is just fucking stupid.
Well,
You are a stupid babyface.
Yeah. But yeah, so this promo wasn't good anyways. Like, I think I've talked about this a lot, weirdly enough, lately. I think because I've been viewing a lot of WCW pay-per-views and stuff. I don't like promo segments that happen on pay-per-views. You know, that's stuff that you should be doing on TV. Like, there's 2 promo segments on this pay-per-view that could have been easily been on Nighthead.
I agree. And if you wanted to have this on pay-per-view, you easily could have gotten this done backstage and had this way shorter. You did not have to have this go 5 fucking minutes. This could have easily been told in like 2.
By the way, I do want to mention, when I reviewed this to Zero, I explained it basically in like 5 sentences, and I told him this goes on for like 5 minutes. Like
5 minutes for the same fucking verbiage. He just says it. I think Rick Steiner literally says the same exact thing like 6 different times in this segment, just different wording.
I'm pretty sure too. I don't remember exactly because it's been a while since I've seen it. Like, Mean Gene Okerlund's pretty much the one that has to string this segment along. He has to, like, I don't even know what's going on, but he's basically the one that has to be, like,
at that point, just cue Buff to come in. You don't have to ask him multiple questions that result in the same answer, Mean Gene. I don't even think it's his fault. I think Rick wasn't clear enough. He said a lot and ultimately said nothing.
Yup.
Like, that's what it was.
But yeah, this segment was terrible.
Yeah, bad.
But yeah, originally I forgot this even happened, by the way, because I didn't open up my notes. You would think, by the way, you would just start off a pay-per-view with a match, and not in WCW 1998.
No, we got to make sure the fucking beginning matches go 4 minutes.
Yeah. But yeah, we'll get to talk about the opener. We had a WCW World Television Championship match. It was Chris Jericho defending against Raven. Good. I thought this match was very good here. I liked it.
It was way shorted on time. It was so shortchanged.
But yeah, the reason for this match was Raven had developed a losing streak because he had lost his flock, so he kind of had developed a losing streak. And I think I said this originally, this could have been a good storyline, but then I think Raven said, fuck this, I'm leaving, so that's why it didn't happen, pretty much, because I'm pretty sure he leaves before the losing streak even goes into effect.
Did you know Did you know that he basically assassinated his own character by like right after this angle? Like he was a trust fund baby and he was just like a scrappy teen and lived his life all throughout that, but he was actually a rich dude.
Oh, that's awesome.
And Sandman was like a big friend of his, but his name was Jim in the fucking skits. So Jim was like a friend of his mom or whatever, and he's like, you don't talk to your mom like that. Shut up, Jim. Alright? And then fucking, I think by the end of those segments, it's just Raven looks at the camera, he's like, what a mark. He wanted the segment, which is crazy because it completely changes the entire mystique of Raven, right? Much like the shit that Abyss was doing completely fucked over his mystique. That's exactly what Raven did to himself. But he's like, I don't give a shit, dude. I just want TV time. I'll assassinate my character if that's what it takes. You want me to change it? Fine, I'll change it. This is how I'll change it.
But anyhow, yeah, they had a match on TV where Jericho made him tap out immediately, so they were questioning what was going on with Raven here. But before the match starts, we found out too this was a bonus match, by the way. It was added on the day of the pay-per-view, which is weird. But okay. And then yeah, Raven agrees with us. He's just like, yeah, I just found out I didn't get up today until like 11:30, and I find out I have to come here and have this pay-per-view. So he's just gonna leave. He doesn't want to have this pay-per-view match. He just leaves pretty much. And the only reason I did like this though, actually. I thought it was funny. The only reason he gets it back in there is basically Jericho antagonizes him to get back into the ring, which he does. And they have a little bit of a brawl. It's a pretty good brawl. Jericho hits a really good baseball slide kick onto him, which is cool.
He was always really good with those baseball slides.
Yeah, really good. At one point in the match, he does the typical Jericho-style drop kick, and this time around, I think because he's younger now and everything like that, he got some distance this time when he did it. Like, he went, like, over the top rope when he hit this drop kick.
Cool. Yeah, no. Jericho, at this point, was, like, one of the best in the world, even then, and it's such a shame that he never got the match with Goldberg. Even if it was just a squash, he was working his ass off, and he got nothing for it. There's a reason he's fucking off. And
then, eventually, Raven gets some offense in. He hits a front suplex, setting Jericho ribs first into the steps, which was awesome. And then eventually he does like a flying clothesline off the steps, and this sends Jericho knees first into the other side of the steel steps, which was pretty cool. And Raven gets the heat. He hits a sit-out powerbomb on Jericho, but Jericho kicks out of it. Jericho mounts a comeback. He hits a springboard moonsault, which was awesome. Okay, I was wondering why you went quiet for a second.
Yeah, we're fine.
With my computer issues today, I just...
Yeah, you're fine, Go ahead.
But anyhow, Jericho hits a springboard moonsault, but Raven kicks out of it. He locks him into the walls the first time, but Raven is too close to the ropes, so he immediately gets to the ropes. And then eventually Raven mounts a comeback. He hits a thrust kick onto him, but Jericho kicks out. He plants him with a DDT, and I think this is when Jericho, like, he stands up, like, he does he does like a basically a headstand after the DDT.
Yeah.
And Jericho's able to kick out of it, and then I forgot this the first time, and I forget again. Who was it that won the interference here? I remember somebody from his vlog tries to run interference, but it doesn't work.
Oh man, it was Canyon.
Okay,
Canyon.
I forgot this the first.
By the way, motherfucker hits his DDT, which, by the way, normally in nowadays things would be nothing, right?
Mm-hmm.
Except when you remember, oh shit, this is his finish, and he just kicked out of it in the first match of the show. God, he made him look like a jobber here.
That's I can see why you would say that. Yeah, especially
that's
because this didn't happen very often.
Ridiculous. So yeah, Canyon comes in, he distracts him, but Chris Jericho, it backfires on him. Raven tries to go for the even flow DDT again. It gets countered into the Lion Tamer, and that's the tap out win.
Yeah, Jericho wins. I thought this match was very good. I give it 3 3/4 stars. I thought, it continued the losing streak storyline, and Jericho looked really strong here. So I really liked this. I thought this was very good stuff. I give it 3 3/4 stars.
As fast paced as it was, and everybody's entitled to their own opinion, I have to rate this at 2.5 only because they were so shortchanged, and they should have gotten a lot more time. They really should have gotten a lot more time. So
actually, I didn't even realize this went 4 minutes until you just told me. Actually,
yeah, this is one of the matches that went 4 minutes. Yeah, it did not go long enough. So I mean, they fit a lot of shit in here in 4 minutes. Don't get me wrong, but like, what the fuck, dude?
Yeah, that's fair. Next, yeah, we've done career retrospective before on everybody that we've seen so far on the show.
Thank God.
Then we had, again, another promo segment on a pay-per-view. Hollywood Hulk Hogan and Eric Bischoff come out.
The goddamn nerve of this, by the way. Because they have had promo segments on Nitro, Thunder, probably Saturday night, at some point. They have 5 hours, I guarantee you. No, 6 hours. Because I forgot Nitro was 3 hours at this point. I guarantee you. They had enough promo time by this point. But they had to add this. And why? Because they're talking about what they did to Horace Hogan.
Mm-hmm.
And when you find out why they talk about Horace Hogan, what is absurd, what is fucking absurd about all of this is in the storyline, Horace Hogan is the Jar Jar Binks of this goddamn angle. He's the key to this show, and it's so infuriating because that means they teased this on fucking pay-per-view to just piss you off even more by the finish.
But yeah, so they come out here. We find out that Hollywood Hulk Hogan completely wiped out Horace Hogan. And basically Hollywood Hulk Hogan said that he did this was to show the Warrior that if he was willing to do this for his family, or to his family anyways, what is he going to do to somebody that he doesn't even like and all that type of stuff. And he talks about how he's going to defeat the Warrior and avenge that one win back that he's never gotten over and all that type of stuff. I think I mentioned in the first video I did with Zero, this is technically a good promo, but it just did not need to be on the pay-per-view.
No, it didn't. No, it didn't. And it could have been the greatest promo since sliced bread. I couldn't have given a fuck. Why are you doing this on pay-per-view?
By the way, let's also mention, remember we had this same issue when we did Halloween Havoc 97.
Yes!
Hogan
Yes,
does
we
this
did!
Halloween. And they did it again the next year. Like,
they do not learn from their mistakes at all. Not even close. And by the way, it's fucking funny you got people like Bischoff and Russo claiming Tony Khan needs to learn from his mistakes. Or claiming Tony Khan needs to learn from his mistakes. Gee, talk about the pot calling the kettle black, huh?
Yep.
Jesus Christ, guys.
But yeah, so when I rated this segment, I think I gave it like a thumbs in the middle, slightly like pointing down because it should have been on the pay-per-view.
I'm giving it a full thumbs down. I'm giving it a full thumbs down, dude. Like this, why? Why do you have this on the pay-per-view? No buys. No buys at all.
They did do this cool thing with the NWO's music throughout the show, but because it's Halloween Havoc, they had lyrics, and they had, like, you know, evil laughs and stuff, and, like, you know, like from a demon and all that type of stuff, like, in the lyrics, you know, and, like, had, like, thunder and, like, the song and stuff like that. So that was pretty cool, I guess.
No, it was alright.
Then we had...
By the way, I don't know if you noticed this, but I'll get it out of the way now, because I don't know where in the show this is. So, they cut this from the network, but there is a Conan music video.
Oh, I was going to get to that, yeah,
Okay.
they talk about.
Okay, yeah.
I have it in my notes, yeah. I forgot to send it to you, actually, so that's my...
Yeah. No, so I saw the music video. It's pretty good. Pretty good.
Yeah, a
lot of bouncy cars. A lot of low riders.
We'll get to that.
I'm just gonna say, and I forget who it was on the OSW review I watched, but V1 made a very interesting point. You know, I don't care how good your suspension is, but if you're running a lowrider, and just unironically, bro, you're fucking up your suspension, because that shit's gonna move out of place. I'm just saying. I never got the point of lowriders.
But I liked the music video. It was good stuff. And I guess they cut it from the network just because of music rights and all that type of stuff.
I'm so pissed because if fucking Macho never left the Wolfpack, this could have been a Macho and Conan music video, and that would have been fucking awesome. Amazing. That would have been so based.
But which is, I will say this because, and then we'll get to it. It's so weird though because the only reason I even knew that the music video happened is because they mentioned it. It was weird. It was cut, and then the next segment after it happened.
They cut it from the network, but they don't cut Shivani saying it, which is hilarious because usually with the network people, if they don't want something involved in their broadcast, dude, they're on that shit. So it's hilarious that this got through the cracks like it did.
But yeah, they mentioned like it just aired and all that type of stuff, so I just knew to go find it and all that type of stuff. I didn't find it originally. It took a little bit of time to find it.
Yeah, it was a whole lot. Yeah, it took me ages to find the full music video. Yeah, but it was good. Go check it out.
Yeah.
Conan.
Then we had
he chilling with his homies.
Then we had Min versus Wrath. This was good. I gave it like 3 stars. It was a good big man match.
People chanted boring, by the way, for this and for this match. Like they chanted the fucking boring to these people. I'm like, yeah. I mean, I can see why. I can see why.
I can see why. I think I said that originally. I forget the finish because it's been a while since I've seen it, but I know
I can tell you the finish. First off, clubbing shot, another clubbing shot from the other big man. Then the Irish whip, and then another clubbing shot. Then another Irish whip, and another clubbing shot. The Irish whip to the turnbuckle clubbing shot. Irish whip to the other turnbuckle clubbing shot. And then it leads into the finish. Tries to do the tongue death grip, I think, at one point, but Wrath is able to fight out of it. And then the finish happens where Ming and Wrath are audibly talking to each other, right?
Yeah, I remember that, yeah.
Wrath goes, you ready? And then Ming goes, yeah. And then Wrath goes, 3, 2, 1, and then picks him up for the pump handle and goes for the meltdown finish. 1, 2, 3. Oh, Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
This is John Cena's levels of spot calling right here.
But I think I gave it 3 stars. I think I remember this being like a good big man match. I think I had said this didn't belong on the pay-per-view, though. This should have been on Nitro.
This was a Nitro match for sure, yeah. Although, you know what pisses me off, and I'm pissed we never got this? They should have done a match between Wrath and Goldberg for the title.
Yeah, I think I said that.
Yeah, I don't know why they never did, because they both had undefeated streaks and it meant nothing.
I also said, too, I think Wrath would have gotten a push. It was just that the WCW roster was way too loaded and everything like that. I think if he came in earlier or later...
Yeah, I mean, plus the AOL Time Warner thing, and Nash was booking and all that. And I think Nash was booking because he was trying to fucking do something, so I don't know.
Yeah, it's weird.
Everybody had their head on a swivel. They didn't know what the hell was going on.
But yeah, I gave it 3 stars. We've done career retrospective on both these guys, because Min is, we've done before, and we did a Halloween Havoc 95, actually. And then,
we might have done it we might have done it during the Royal Rumble 01, like, way back in the day, too, I think.
Yeah, and then Wrath, I'm trying to remember, who's Wrath on this show, because we've done him before.
Wrath is Brian Adams, I believe.
Yeah, so we did him on. We did him at.
We did him. We did him, and we did him best at the Beach 2000.
No, wait, Royal Rumble '98 because he shows up there. So.
Yeah, because he was part of the Disciples of Apocalypse.
Yeah. Next, Kidman's at the internet location. We do find out later the internet location's just like another like commentary booth setup where they just go answer phone calls and all that type of stuff.
That's all it is.
And he's
and another promo segment on this fucking show, basically.
That's what I could kind of understand because they did this all the time to plug the internet.
Yeah,
like
that's it. But it's like, goddamn, on top of everything else, like all the promos, all the fucking time wasting, which fucked them on pay-per-view, by the way.
Yes, it did. But yeah, Kidman just cuts this really stagnant promo where he mentions that he looks forward to defending his Cruiserweight Championship tonight. And he mentioned, that he's going to be watching it because apparently there was going to be a match to become the number one contender where the winner would face him later on in the show. So it was an okay promo. You could tell Kidman wasn't comfortable on the stick yet, so, he was pretty newish at it. So, this was okay. Then we had a WCW Cruiserweight Championship number one contenders match. Disco Inferno versus Huberto Guerrero. Or Guerrera anyways. Sorry, Guerrera.
Guerrera. Yes.
But, yeah.
Disco Fever. Yo, 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 yo.
But, yeah, this was a very good match. The reason for it was...
Yeah, go ahead. I have some things to say about it.
But, yeah, the reason for this match was... Disco Inferno had been competed in the division, but Huberto Guerrero ratted him out a couple of times that he didn't fit the weight limit in the matches he won. So Disco Inferno got upset about him about it. So this led to this match. This was a very good match here, very back and forth. I really liked it a lot. They both do really good quick hip tosses and chain wrestling on each other. Huberto Guerrero hits a really good head scissors. Sending Disco Inferno into the ropes. Eventually, Disco Inferno works over Huberto Guerrero. He works over his ribs and things like that. He has a really good shoulder breaker onto Hubi, which was awesome. Hubi does a really good roll-up. He does a sunset flip powerbomb to the outside, which looks really painful.
It was really fucking crazy. Sunset flip, yeah.
He does like a shooting star plus to the outside on the Disco. And then eventually, Disco Inferno hits a pile driver onto Huberto Guerrero. And he gets the pin. He becomes the number one contender. And he's going to face Kidman later in the night for the title.
I was not a fan of the decision, number one. And number two, like, as good of a match this was, because Hoovy worked his ass off to carry this fucking guy, by the way. There was at one point, although I will say there was a botch where... You know the spot where he usually goes for the over-the-leg suplex, but instead of the suplex, he turns it into a Fameasser? So that got botched, but I do love the quick thinking on Shivani, because he says, Disco's such a heavy wrestler that he was able to just shove him off, and I'm like, ooh, good save. You tried.
Yeah.
Good shit.
But yeah, very good. I thought it was very good, though. I give it 3 3/4. It is weird who won, considering the fact that, the person was going to have to pull double duty, and it was weird they went with the heel pulling the double duty. It made the Cruiserweight title match very awkward later on in the night. So.
Yeah, and that's the thing for me, is just like, like, what are we doing? You know what I mean? Like, I don't understand why you don't go with Hoovy here, because you could have gotten a better match with Kidman. And
yeah, definitely.
Don't get me wrong. Contrary to what a lot of people want to say about Disco, Glenn Gilberti can hold his own in the ring. He's a serviceable worker and shit. But he's not a cruiserweight. He has no business being in the cruiserweight division. I never understood.
It was weird,
this.
yeah.
I feel like they were just running out of ideas and they wanted storylines, so they're like, throw Disco in there and try to make something out of it. But it's like, why do it with this guy and fucking not try to do it with like Tokyo Magnum or Alex Wright or somebody like that? He wanted a dancing gimmick in the cruiserweight division. Pick one of them.
Especially because Alex Wright is over on this show later on.
Yes, he is. Very over.
But yeah, so we've done career retrospective for both these guys before, so we don't need to do them again. For Hoover, you can check out Bash of the Beach 2000, that's it. And then for Disco Inferno, you can check out Halloween Havoc 1997, the year prior. So, we had a lot to say about him on that show. So,
yeah, true that.
Yeah, then we had the Nitro Girls segment too. They just did the segment again. So
they danced. That's that.
They danced.
Move on.
That's basically what I said the last video too. Is
might as well just repeat the gimmick.
Then we had another promo segment on the paper. Yes, it's Scott Steiner, but it's like, why? This is before like he's like so bad it's good. Scott Steiner promo right here too.
This is him challenging Steiner. We're not having the match unless he could beat the NWO for the tag team championships, and apparently the tag team champions are the Giant and Scott Steiner.
Well, I think they explained that. I think it was actually Savage or Hall. I forget which one, but they changed it
because of the NWO split. Yeah. So
I don't even know.
Rule. Yeah, it's so dumb, so ridiculous.
But basically that's what happens. The commissioner comes out. Who's the commissioner again? I forget. It's been a while.
JJ Dillon.
JJ Dillon comes out, and basically they make a deal that if Rick Steiner and Buff Bagwell do win the match, then Scott Steiner and Rick Steiner will have a 15-minute time.
Oh yeah, I forgot. Yeah, Buff Bagwell agreed to watch his back, and then Buff Bagwell would end up being his partner. Yes. So JJ, not realizing it, actually was helping the NWO when he didn't even know it.
Exactly. But
That's the only positive I could say about that, because that was at least innovative, the way to make him look like an idiot. But
when you watch this, when you watch this segment, it does make a little more sense when you watch the match, but it still sucks anyways. The reason I said that is because, people get their refunds anyways for a different reason, but can you imagine all those people that probably bought this pay-per-view expecting to see Rick Steiner versus Scott Steiner, and there was a potential that you were going to piss them off and not follow through with the match?
Yes. Yes. Like another fucking swerve. By the way, not the first time they did it with these two, by the way. Like, they've done that multiple fucking times.
Yeah, so this was just, This segment wasn't good. And it's Scott Steiner in this segment. Maybe because, too, I'm so used to the Scott Steiner, hearing him on the mic, it's usually good.
This is like early on in his run before he started going full-on crazy. Like, he was crazy still, but not as crazy as he would later become in, like, 99, 2000, all the way onward.
Then we had, Fit Finlay versus Alex Wright. The reason for this match was because, way back in the day, Fit Finlay injured Alex Wright's father's leg. So, Alex Wright was, looking for payback here. It did kind of sound like Shivani. There wasn't a storyline in this match, so Shivani came up with something.
That was the one, yeah. But I think Alex Wright did mention something about that, like, later on in the promo. Which, by the way, I don't think was the case, because I think Finley's father was wrestling a long while after this. But what was supposed to be the story of this? It was supposed to be a triple threat match. So, I'll give you one guess. Who was supposed to be in this match with Fit Finlay and Alex Wright?
Yeah, so I gotta think. Is it somebody that's not on the show?
Yes. Not in the company anymore.
Not in the company anymore.
By this point, he would be out of the company.
I'm gonna take a guess. Probably one. Is it what was his name in WCW? Oh, was it Six?
No. So he would have been just released.
Just released.
Yes.
Okay.
And he's a European wrestler.
Lord Steven Weagle.
You're on the ballpark though. It is a British wrestler.
Okay. All right. So British wrestler, the British Bulldog.
Yes. It was the British Bulldog.
What was his
So the gimmick of this match that was supposed to be a triple threat match is, who is the best European wrestler? That was the gimmick of this match. It was supposed to be a triple threat that determined the best European wrestler. But the reason it didn't happen is because Bulldog was fucked up on painkillers, even more
and injured.
and injured because of a legit pain injury he got from a trap door that was used for the Warrior in War Games and Fall Brawl not too long prior to this. So he ended up getting released, but they paid him throughout his time injured, and then he went to the WWF in '99 afterwards.
Oh, okay. This is kind of a good thing when we're doing this, because you and I didn't mention that, because we didn't know, so...
There you go. The more
yeah, there you go.
know.
So it led to this match. So I'm going to guess they just went with... It was probably too not long before this match was booked and everything like that, because, they still went through with this match anyways, so...
Yeah, they went with the one-on-one. Only with the one-on-one, just because it was easier to do. But, yeah, it was one of those things where it's like, eh.
Yeah, this was good stuff. Finley dominates in the beginning part of this matchup. He hits a body slam, sending Alex Wright legs first into the ropes twice. Alex Wright attacks him. He throws him into the guardrail. Finley is attacking him in the corner. He misses a charge in the corner, and Alex Wright hits a sliced bread number 2 onto him and gets the victory. This was good stuff. I give it 3 stars. I thought the match could have gone on a little longer. I thought, they kind of ended it abruptly.
Yeah,
and this match
very abruptly. I also will say that any time that Alex Wright would get some offense, the people would like it. But any time Finley got offense, they chanted boring. Poor Finley, bro.
Yeah,
he got fucking shat on this.
But yeah, good stuff. I give it 3 stars. In hindsight, too, this match probably could have just been done on Nitro. You probably didn't need to do it.
I agree with that. By the way, there's a missed drop kick Alex Wright gets in this match, and he gets some goddamn height off this.
Yeah, he did.
Like he always had hops, man. Alex Wright was a worker.
I think I mentioned it in the first take, but I just watched the show then, so that's why I didn't mention it here. So
yeah, there you
go. We've done career retrospective before on both these guys, so we don't need to do it again. I just thought of this now. I think we did career retrospective on J.J. Dillon, right? Because he shows up at Halloween Havoc 97.
J.J. Dillon does show up at Halloween Havoc 97, yes.
And the same seg with NWO also, too, where they make him look like a fool there, too. So, again, they learn from their mistakes.
Again, ever.
So then, Ernest the Cat Mello is at the internet location, just, putting himself over, saying that he's the biggest badass in the world. But nothing comes of this. It just happens, and then it's just over. So, what was the point of this if nothing was going to come of it? Like, you could say, well, it's just internet stuff. They're trying to get that over. But they flew him out there. They showed the camera when he was out there, and then nothing happened.
Nothing
happened. Okay.
Not at all. Nothing happened.
I didn't get this. What did you think of this? I thought this was weak.
Yeah. Another promo segment that just didn't need to happen. Really.
And then we had Lodi versus Saturn in a revenge match. The reason this is a revenge match, WCW didn't make this very clear at all. We didn't really know who was looking for revenge. Saturn at one point was a part of Raven's flock, but then somehow he ended up having to work for the Lodi. So they made it seem like that Saturn was looking for revenge, but then they mentioned that Saturn laid out Lodi, and they mentioned he was looking for revenge. So we didn't know who was looking for revenge. I guess they both were, but you really didn't know. Some revenge match this was. Lodi had a sign, and he came out with his signs. And he's, when they take him away, he's more focused on his signs than getting revenge. It's like, okay, great, what a great stuff. But yeah, this was a squash pretty much on the pay-per-view. Saturn just destroys him. I think he beat him with a full Nelson or something, or a jackhammer. I don't even remember at this point.
It was a Death Valley driver. It's his finish. It's his big finish. So, Perry Saturn was the master of the Death Valley driver back then.
Yeah, this match was 1 star. I didn't like it. And it's the second time I watched a WCW pay-per-view where, the person looking for revenge didn't get revenge on this show. So it's just yeah.
I don't even know if he was looking for revenge, by the way.
Yeah.
It could have been for all we know, it could have been Saturn looking for revenge. Who knows who was looking for revenge?
This match wasn't good, and maybe
it was a glorified squash match!
On a pay-per-view.
On a pay-per-view! Your biggest pay-per-view, one of your biggest. You're a fucking one of your big 4 pay-per-views, and you fucking squash match. Why? Why?
Awful.
Awful, indeed.
Yeah, Lodi, apparently C.W. Anderson. And I think I asked you, did we do a career retrospective on
Is it?
Yeah, when you look him up, it's you know how on the Wikipedia it says ring names? It is C.W. Anderson. So
Really?
yeah.
That's crazy. Because he's actually like he doesn't even look like C.W. Anderson. He looks like C.W. Anderson and C.W. Anderson. I would have never thought he was Lodi.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah.
We definitely done a career retrospective on him because I think we did an ECW show with him on it. No, we did Hardcore Justice. We did Hardcore Justice 2010, but we'll do it again.
We never did that.
Did we not? I thought we did.
No, we never did that. We never did that.
Yeah, we'll do a career retrospective on him. He was C.W. Anderson when he left WCW, and he was like that for the rest of his career, where he was an Arn Anderson clone.
Mm-hmm.
I got nothing left to say about that. I will say, he showed up on Power looking like probably in the best shape he ever looked in his life, by the way.
And it hasn't shown up since because the pandemic hit. And
unfortunately, yes. He was really good too. Like he was really good when he came back. I'm very upset that he's not.
He probably would have been a part. He probably would have been a part of the not the junior heavyweight division they have going on.
Yeah, he would have been a great shout because he was really good at that point.
Yeah,
he was actually really good. So good for you, brother.
Yeah. Then yeah, we done Saturn before. You can watch any WWF pay-per-view retro from 2000 that we've done. So
Yep.
Then we had another Nitro Go segments. We just did. I don't know why we did. We did. This time,
they were neon Nitro girls though.
This time they were on the stage though, so that's different.
No, that was different. They had colored hair. They were neon Nitro girls.
I think I said this when I did this the retro with Zio at the time. I forgot these Nitro Go segments even happened, so I don't have any career retrospective on any of these Nitro girls. I don't know anything about them. So
whatever. It's okay. Kimberly Page is there, I'm sure. She's married to Diamond Dallas Page at this point.
I've done a career retrospective on her. You don't need to say anything else. So.
There you go. I will say they look nice, and this is probably the nicest they looked.
I still was mad though, because it was the third time I had to see this. You gotta remember, Noah and I are like, this is how Noah and I are like. We watch wrestling just to critique it. We don't watch wrestling. Well, we watch wrestling to have fun, but we don't watch wrestling to. You and I's having fun of wrestling is pretty different. It's really weird, but.
No, I know. Listen. I understand. I like a nice woman on my television, especially in a wrestling program. Okay, it's fine. However, 3 fucking segments of this shit.
There's
3! And there's more! This isn't even the last time we see him! What the fuck is going on?
Again, they're not the Nitro Girls too.
Dude, you could have cut it down to 1 Nitro Girls segment and you could have made the pay-per-view time, you morons. What the fuck, dude? Why? Listen, we know they're hot. You don't need to keep jamming that point home 3 times on a fucking pay-per-view.
But you're getting this shit for free anyways.
Yes! Yes, you are!
So why have it at all?
Why are we wasting time? Stop wasting my time. I am a paying customer. Not really. But I'm a paying customer. Like, in logic. You are supposed to give me what I paid for, and instead you got 3 fucking Nitro Girl segments for no reason to waste time.
And then a 4th one's coming out too.
Yeah, we're not even done, people. We're not even done. Oh my god.
I do want to mention, by the way, when I watched this the first time, I thought this pay-per-view was kind of like, fairly fine. Then the NWO happens. I kind of noticed a pattern. Oh, but once the NWO starts showing up on here, the fucking show goes like downhill.
Oh yeah, it does. And it's black and white NWO, by the way. And not even a Wolfpack NWO. Like, I don't think a single Wolfpack NWO member except Sting and Nash were there.
Yeah, don't forget Sting. Yeah.
And technically, if you want to count it, Conan, but fucking Luger's nowhere to be found on the show.
We didn't get Conan though, because they cut him from the pay-per-view.
They cut him from the pay-per-view feed on the network, but he was on the show, so I'll count it.
Okay. But yeah, so Let me talk about this bullshit, then I'll let you go. Because I ranted about this when I did this the first time, so I'm
Go right ahead. Go ahead.
So we had the WCW World Tag Team Championship match. We had the Giant and Buff Bagwell defend. No, I'm sorry. The Giant and Scott Steiner defend the WCW World Tag Team titles against Rick Steiner and Buff Bagwell. If Rick Steiner and Buff Bagwell won, Rick Steiner would get to face Scott Steiner for 15 minutes. But by the way, this is a spoiler alert. They don't stick to that. That 15-minute stuff that they mentioned, it's just never mentioned again. Like that, they don't stick to that. Like that was weird. But yeah, they come out. Rick Steiner is getting some good offense in on Scott Steiner and Giant. It's good stuff. He's looking strong. You have to heat on him for a little bit, but it's not for too long. And then Rick Steiner could easily win the match. I forgot to mention the storyline of this match. Because Steiner turned on Rick Steiner.
Turned on Rick Steiner, and this should be a bigger deal than it is, but it's not because it's muddled with all this NWO garbage and all this. I don't want to face my brother. Now, mind you, at this point, fucking Scott Steiner looks like a brick shithouse that could annihilate his brother, but they do nothing. They make him a coward.
Yeah.
And it's after this feud that he stops being a coward and just fucks over everybody, right?
Can you imagine, by the way, DIY, when they break up, after their feud, like during their feud, when the Undisputed Era comes in, it's more about the Undisputed Era than DIY's feud.
Exactly. By the way, for those who want to fucking wonder why people say the Bullet Club is better than the NWO, shit like this is why. Shit like this is why. And they did it over and over and over again. When there was a Bullet Club fucking matchup, when AJ Styles fought for the world title, you didn't see fucking Bullet Club interference every fucking week. You didn't see it on every pay-per-view. They just had a fucking classic for the world title, and that was it. All she wrote.
When Kenny Omega faced Chris Jericho, Bullet Club don't even show up. It's just for Omega's entrance.
And Omega after the match, yes. The Young Bucks fucking helped him up. Yeah, that's it. This is why. This is why Bullet Club is better than the NWO. Like, booking-wise. Way better. Like, miles better. Every incarnation of the Bullet Club. Literally, even the House of Torture variation of the Bullet Club is better booked than this shit. And I mean that. And I only say that because at the very least, fucking Evil was an IWGP champion and barely relied on his fucking compadres in that title run. You can't fucking tell me that fucking Steiner and all these other motherfuckers relied on anything else but these fucking NWO B-team motherfuckers.
I would even say the Bloodline's better than the NWO booking wise for that reason.
Yes!
I know they have a lot of interference, but it's like,
It's fucking ridiculous now. It was ridiculous then. It's ridiculous watching it back now. That's all it is. It's just ridiculous.
Yeah. But yeah, let's continue. So Buff Bagwell wants to be tagged. Well, yeah. Anyhow, I was continuing breaking down the feud. I forgot, but Rick Steiner. He got injured, so like he had to be off TV for a while, so they couldn't really do the feud much. So then when he came back, they went right back into the program, and this is where Buff Bagwell decides whether or not he wants to be a part of it. We kind of broke that down already.
By the way, so he's babyface in the Georgia Dome, Buff, and then he should have been a babyface after that point. By the fucking way, he was over there, and he turns heel. And then he gets knocked off the apron during a Steiner brother match. Rick and Scott are fighting. I think it's Fall Brawl. And they fake this injury, and it lasts an eternity. All for it to be a fucking swerve, and he jumps out of the ambulance and starts ambushing Rick Steiner.
But yeah, let's get to the Let's get to the swerve here. So Buff Bagwell wants
swerve.
Buff Bagwell wants Rick Steiner to tag him in so they can do like a double team move. And they're about to do the double team move. The Irish whip Scott Steiner into the ropes, but as he's about to come off, Buff Bagwell turns. No, they actually hit the double team move actually, and then behind the ref's back, Buff Bagwell turns on him. Like he kicks him in the ribs and just leaves. By the way, why does he have to be behind the ref's back? By the way, like, is it illegal to attack your partner during a match?
No,
I think it is.
It's really not, but okay, dude. Rick Steiner should have saw this coming.
Yes.
What an idiot! You deserve to get your ass kicked. Like you do. You deserve to have to fight from underneath. You brought this upon yourself. I can't feel bad for this guy. At that point, I was a bigger fan of Buff Bagwell than I was of Rick Steiner here. Because he just looked like a moron here. So anyway, Buff turns on him, he goes to the fucking back, la-di-da, and then the match continues on. It's just...
Yeah.
What the fuck?
NWO, by the way, WCW was big into this too. Because this happens a lot at Bash of the Beach 2000. People doing a swerve, and then it's not the finish. It's like the middle of the match.
Dude,
like,
they were doing that all the time. Literally before Russo even came in, they were doing this shit.
Yeah.
Just...
So yeah, the match continues. Giant and Scott Steiner get the heat on, Rick Steiner for a while. Then eventually, Rick Steiner does get a comeback in, but it doesn't last for very long. Then the Giant's about to go off the top. He obviously
tries to go for a missile drop kick, and he smashes into Scott Steiner because Rick Steiner throws him in the way. Which,
and then
by the way, was probably the best spot of the whole match. I ain't even gonna hold you. Because, like, the fact that Giant could do a drop kick even at this point, because he was heavy at this point, the fact that he began to do it there, like, holy shit.
But yeah, Rick Steiner fights off Giant, and then he hits the Bulldog onto... no, he hits the Bulldog on Giant, actually, because he was tagged in, and then he pins Giant, and Rick Steiner becomes the new WCW Tag Team Champions. We don't know who with. It was supposed to be with Buff Bagwell.
That's the thing. That's the thing that infuriates me. No. Him and Buff Bagwell are the Tag Team Champions. I don't give a fuck what fucking Buff did. He and Buff Bagwell are the Tag Team Champions.
Yes.
So,
yeah,
whatever.
What overpowered booking this is, by the way. He gets turned on, and it's down
and,
at 2-1-1.
And he fucking John Cena. He's John Cena for, like, the first time in his career. He fucking just... and fucking just beats everybody.
But it's not over there. Then they have to do the, Scott Steiner, Rick Steiner match. Obviously, Steiner doesn't want to do it, but J.J. Dillon forces him to do it. Giant comes over. He apologizes to Scott Steiner, saying that he screwed up. And Rick Steiner attacks Scott Steiner. He beats him up, and he tries to get him, like, far away enough from the Giant to so that way he can't beat him up. But then they try to tell you in the match, it says it on Wikipedia, too, it's supposed to be a no DQ match. I don't think it's actually a no DQ match.
No!
They don't treat it like a one.
Dude, nobody knew what the fuck was going on. Even then, they didn't know what the fuck they were booking. It was so goddamn sporadic.
Yeah, then eventually, the match goes on, Rick Steiner dominates, and then a fan jumps the ring in a Bill Clinton mask. And this is why I finally mentioned it, by the way. And it seemed like Pro Wrestling was obsessed with Bill Clinton. And Zero did say it's because he was president, but no, I don't think they've ever had shown this much love to a president in professional wrestling. Everybody always wore a Bill Clinton mask or had someone become like a Bill Clinton. Like
Bill Clinton, yeah.
So it's just weird. Maybe he was a big wrestling fan, so he approved it. But it's just, I've never seen this much love for a president.
Dude, well, no. So they took the idea from I forget the goddamn movie where they had the presidential mask when they did robberies, but
okay, that's fair.
There was a movie. It was about surfing, but it was also about robberies and gangs and shit. I don't know. It was a weird movie. My dad loves the movie. I forget the name of it. But yeah,
But yeah, so the person jumps the barricade, and we find out that it's Buff Bagwell. He lays out Rick Steiner with the tag belt, and you think that's gonna be the finish. The ref's out, but yeah, he has the ref count, and then he kicks out. But if the ref's out, why not just count the 3 count anyways? The ref doesn't know if what he's doing. Like, I don't understand.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, I don't get that.
This whole fucking match is a mess.
But yeah, oh my gosh, more overpowering bullshit though. Even with the 2-on-1 disadvantage here, Rick Steiner fights him off and still wins. What? Excuse me?
Yeah, you had money here.
Yeah.
How do you squander Rick and Scott Steiner's feud? It's as simple as Scott turned his back on him.
Right.
Rick wants revenge. I'm gonna do whatever I have to do to get my fucking hands on him. He should have been the Scott Steiner that Scott Steiner later became. He should have been going after him every fucking week and beating his ass until he agreed to a one-on-one no disqualification match. It was not hard to book. It's not hard to book. How do you fucking squander this?
And then, you know, you do all this bullshit with Rick Steiner. You know, you have somebody turn on him, and he still comes off and pulls out all the obstacles anyways.
Dude, this... After he fucking won the tag titles, I was over this. I couldn't have even cared about Scott and Rick at that point. And that's. But
I do want to mention this, by the way, too. WCW, I mentioned this in the first video, they had no choice but to book Rick Steiner this way. Because if you remember on the Go Home episode of Nitro or Thunder, I forget which one, he was bitched out by Chucky. He was supposed to be showing up on this show.
Hey, oh my god, that's right. I forgot the Chucky segment happened.
So they didn't have a choice. They didn't have a choice but to book Rick Steiner this one because they fucked up so badly on Nitro. So it's like, you know, they won't. So
you're right.
So everybody had to suffer, pretty much.
Yeah, I forgot Chucky was involved in this shit.
Yeah, he was.
Fuck.
I give this match. I think I gave this match like a 1 star. It was fucking awful.
I gave both. Yeah, I gave both matches a 1 star. I hate this.
I didn't know how to rate this at first, because sadly it's 2 matches, but I think because it's 1 segment, Zio and I disagreed just to rate them as 1 match.
Yeah, well, it's 1 star either match, so it's 1 star the whole segment.
Then we have more shit going on here. Again, more NWO bullshit. Scott Steiner...
I will say this. Out of all the NWO matches, this was the best one. And it shouldn't have been, because the story sucked. For obvious, distasteful reasons.
Actually, I thought the tag match actually was better. I gave this match a -3 star. I didn't like maybe because of the story of what they did. I think that it probably was a better match, but
the story they told was better, and the story made sense, as opposed to last match that didn't make a goddamn bit of sense.
But yeah, I talked about this in the first one. Pretty much what happened. I've actually, everything you just ranted about with the Rick Scott Steiner thing, I ranted about with the Scott Hall Kevin Nash thing, where it was like the easiest feud to book. You know, they came into WCW together, they were part of the NWO, they even knew each other before then when they were, you know, in, what's it called? The Click and stuff like that.
Yes.
And then they started NWO Wolfpack. Then the feud goes off the rails. Because Scott
Hall joins the Wolfpack, turns his back on the Wolfpack, right? That's what happened, I think.
And the storyline they were telling was that basically he was being influenced by Hogan and everybody. Not because he was being influenced, but because I guess he was so drunk and stuff like that. He was making him make bad decisions and all that type of stuff. And yeah, they were having Scott Hall come out drunk and everything like that. And Kevin Nash tried everything that he could to basically, you know, get back Scott Hall, but he realized the only thing he could do was kick his ass. You could see why, but I told you off camera when we talked on the phone later that night. You got no fucks given Kevin Nash. They could not edit a fuck given and Kevin Nash in this video package.
They both were just over this.
Yeah.
Because they were, keep this in mind too. Scott Hall and WCW are getting shit from his wife, right, at the time.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Kevin Nash was getting shit on by other people because he didn't really want to do this story angle at this point. So, like, why would you give a shit? Why would you care when you're getting shit left, right, and center? You know?
And also, too, I've noticed I think babyface Kevin Nash sucks. You can just tell when he's a babyface, he's not good. Like, he does not care.
Depends
like,
on babyface Kevin Nash. Depends. I think he would have given a shit if you booked him in stuff that was tangible. But yeah, it's not great.
But yeah, and I find it funny the best Kevin Nash not giving a shit is probably when he's Chet Lemon in TNA. And he's actually the whole thing is actually trying not to give a shit actually. So that's the whole thing. Like he's like, you know.
At that point he really liked TNA too, so it was hard for him to pretend to not give a shit.
Yeah. So, but yeah. So I think I talked about this in the first one. I don't like these type of storylines when they do like, you know, when they have people who are like alcoholics and past alcoholics and stuff in storylines. We talked about it.
They did it with Snake Roberts. They did it with fucking Hall. They did it with. By the way, WWF was not immune because they were doing it with Hawk too.
Yep, they did it with Jeff Hardy during the pandemic days. They did it, you know. The only ones that worked truly was Jeff Hardy and CM Punk in WWE doing their feud.
That was like and then Hangman Adam Page because he actually wasn't a drunk before. He overcame it and won the title at the end of it. So after everything, yeah, like because he was given a beer by Dark Order and then he chucked it and then hugged his friends and then held the title in the air. That's the only time it worked.
And lately, he kind of ruined that now too, because now they're doing segments where he's drinking on camera, which is weird. So,
well, I mean, you could still drink on camera. He'll be fine.
He's okay. He's cool. Well, you don't think
he's cool. He's not actually. He was only drinking because he was depressed, but now he's not depressed anymore. So he's drinking just on occasion. He's fine. Yeah. He's a good alcoholic, I guess.
But yeah,
he's not an alcoholic. He's a good, responsible drinker guy.
But this is tough, I think, here, because, you know, you're running into a thing where you have a guy who actually is an alcoholic, and, you know, very much so is an alcoholic at the time.
Yes!
And he's showing up, having to pretend to be drunk on camera. It's like, what the hell? Like,
it's just fucking ridiculous, dude.
So the match starts, Scott Hall comes out drunk, and he calls out, Kevin Nash, and, Kevin Nash comes out. We got to hear the Wolfpack song. I like that song. That's good. Don't turn your back on the Wolfpack. You might end up in a body bag. Oh boy, was Scott Hall living. I think Scott Hall was wishing. He was in a body bag after this match.
Yeah, you are wrong. Holy shit. Yeah.
I want to be in a body bag right now after I eat it twice.
Yeah. Yeah, that's for true.
Yeah, so Kevin Nash comes out, and I guess we find out that Scott Hall really wasn't drunk this time. It was a swerve. He spat the beer.
What the fuck, dude?
He wasn't drunk. He spat the beer in his face and just beat him up.
He smashed him into the ring post, and then there's a mid-match promo. You think he's not drunk, and then he gets on the mic, and he goes, "Hey, yo. Hey, Big Kev, how does it feel to see the world through foggy eyes?" And I'm like, oh my god.
So was he drunk IRL?
Yes.
Or?
Yeah, I don't know. The t-shirts might be too tight too, Owen.
But yeah, so he basically, Scott Hall's making fun of him, so this causes Kevin Nash to get in the win. And I think I ranted about this when I did it the first time. They are having this blood feud beatdown, and then all of a sudden Scott Hall escapes. And I felt like the match restarted mid-match. They just start doing walk-up and shit all of a sudden. Like, what happened?
I don't know, dude. I don't know. I don't understand.
And then all of a sudden, just Kevin Nash just basically kicks his ass. He lays him out with a big boot. He lays him out with a jackknife. Kevin Nash could just easily go for the pin and go for the win right here, but he just leaves. He just leaves and loses by countout.
Well, this is why I say the story of the match is actually good, because he's like, it's not about winning to him. He just wants to teach his friend a lesson to stop drinking. So, as shitty as the storyline is, at least the payoff made sense. At least the payoff made sense. You know what I mean?
Nah, not me. It's just like, why not just go for the win also, too? You have the guy beat, you know?
Because he just wanted to teach Scott a lesson. He didn't want to win on his best friend. He couldn't be given.
Well, you know what lesson you could have taught him? If you don't drink, you could put it into your work and win fucking matches. That's a lesson right there.
That's fair, actually. I don't know, dude.
I feel like too it feels like too it gets worse too, because Kevin Nash is meant to be the babyface here, but he's making a lot of innuendos about drinking. He's like, "Are you a face? Like you're making fun of the guy for his alcohol problems. Like you're the fucking babyface."
I don't even know. And he's supposed to, try to help his friend, but he doesn't look like he's helping his friend. I don't know.
And I think I talked about this in the first one. Maybe if I didn't know Scott Hall actually had alcohol issues, because you do have to kind of put this into perspective to 1998. I think a lot of people didn't know that, so like maybe that's easier for them to watch this match. But I can't take knowledge away that I know. It's
right.
Well, unless you hit me in the head with a shovel and I just forget this. Well, I just forget that part of Scott Hall. But
you're thinking about it, aren't you? It's like somebody, please.
Yeah, please.
I want to forget, please.
But then again, if I forget, then we're gonna have to do this shit with you again because I forgot that we did it. So I'm like, oh wait, we did the review.
Like, not a third time, no.
Yeah, so it's like it's no wins. I don't know. That might be better though, because I already did this once and I'm hating it more. You're not getting a lot of effort. I think you've noticed from the Tourette show because I just hate the fact that I had to do this twice.
Honestly, yeah. I mean, it is what it is, man.
This match is like -3 stars. It's fucking terrible.
I'll give it a -1 star. At least it made sense. But yeah, I will say the match dragged the fuck on too.
Oh yeah, it did.
Holy shit.
Yeah, it did. Like, I think a lot of this match is Kevin Nash beating the shit out of Scott Hall too, which is very uncomfortable. So it's just like,
Yeah, it was basically just glorified.
This isn't even like Kevin Nash. It's just like touring his quads and all that type of stuff too. This is just, it's just.
You have people that are on drugs and it's clearly visible, and then you got fucking drinking, and then you got all this other shit. You got fucking, Ultimate Warrior doing the Jimmy Ganja and getting the Disciple to be a part of his One Warrior Nation and making him smoke the marijuana,
By the way,
everybody's just fucked up on the show, bro. The only two people that aren't are in the main event.
Well, maybe. Well,
yeah, man, maybe.
But anyhow, I hate the main event for TNA Victory Road 2011, but at least it ends quickly. At least it's quick. It just drags and drags and drags.
True
whatever.
That.
Terrible. Yeah, then we had Conan's music video. This is apparently what had happened in the show. And if you're pissed enough on the show already, though, have some more Nitro girls. It's okay. We just saw someone. We just saw someone pretend to be drunk who has alcohol issues. Just, here you go, woman. Here you go. we saw this 4 times already. So fucking. I hate this show so much.
You're so good. Alcohol problems. Here's some women. There you go.
What do you want? I'm mad, dude. I gotta do this twice.
Oh, God.
I wasn't even that mad I had to do this twice until I got to these 4 matches. I had to cover the fucking... This so sucks. I hate... This is where there's that line in there that Shivani mentions that, like, the, Conan video packet, the Conan music video just aired. It's just like, oh, I guess they got... Like you just said, I guess they didn't notice that. So it's like, oh...
There you go. Yeah.
At least there was one positive out of this Nitro Girls segment 4. It was the last one. You didn't have to see it again after
I can't believe there was 4 of these segments, dude. Holy shit. They could have... If they had cut the 3 Nitro Girls segments out and left the one in the beginning just to run down the card, okay, fine. I could accept that. It's still dumb, but I can accept it. If they'd have cut the other 3 out, they could have made pay-per-view airtime. That is what's so maddening about this. That's what's so maddening about this. It's just like...
Yeah.
Sorry.
And then we had the WCW United States Championship match. It's Bret Hart defending against Sting. You're probably thinking to yourself, James, and a lot of people that are watching the show, this had to have been good. It's Bret Hart and Sting. You know, the whole storyline of this match is who could do a better sharpshooter cess,
Scorpion Deathlock. Yeah.
Scorpion Deathlock. And, you know, there's a lot of storyline in this match. You know, Sting's upset with Bret Hart that he's been, like, siding with Hulk Hogan, which that didn't make sense. But, you know, they can probably tell a good enough story in the ring to kind of make it work and everything like that. Then you have to see Sting come out with the Wolfpack theme. It's just like, oh, why is this dude in the NWO? That doesn't make sense. It's so bad.
Well, actually, it could have worked. It could have at least somewhat worked.
But it didn't. Because they fucking suck.
They suck. The way you could have made Sting join the Wolfpack is because Savage started the Wolfpack, right? Just to clear that up. He started the Wolfpack and Nash and Hall joined them, and even though Hall turned his back. Sting, you could have made the excuse that Sting came into the Wolfpack because when fucking Savage and Sting were going against the NWO the first time, and then Macho turned his back on Sting and joined the NWO, is because he wanted to get back with Miss Elizabeth. That was the whole gimmick. And then you could have been like, obviously he got fucked over, and I'm not cool with that. I am far beyond cool with that. So, you know what, Macho? I'm on your side. And boom! It makes sense. That's why he joined the Wolfpack. That's why Luger joined the Wolfpack. Easy.
Nope, not that easy.
You just had to have some fucking thought. Some foresight. Instead, he's in the NWO. He's like, I was tired of being a brooded, silent, moody mess. So I'm gonna join the Wolfpack. That's it. That's the only reason they gave on TV, dude.
But yeah, we had this. But yeah, we had this match here.
Oh, he had a black coat tee too with his red face paint, which is such a weird goddamn look.
Yeah, it was.
There was also, before we even get into this match, Bret Hart. What is this entrance music? Did you?
Bad.
What the fuck is this? This is the worst version of his WWF theme I think I've ever heard. There was one.
WCW.
Yeah, WCW. There was a version of the theme he came out to. Jimmy Hart came out. It was one of Jimmy Hart's best pieces of work. It was actually really good. Why did they replace it with whatever the fuck this was? This was awful.
I think I did say something about it, but I thought at first it was like a network thing where they couldn't have the actual one. But this was terrible.
It was god awful, yeah.
But yeah, we had this match here. You know, a lot of stall in the beginning. Bret Hart's too afraid to face Sting, so eventually Sting's able to meet him on the apron. He beats him up. He dominates him.
You're Bret Hart. Why are you afraid of Sting?
Well, I don't think he was really afraid of him. I think he was just trying to play mind games with him and all that type of stuff. So,
but I would agree with you, except for in the beginning of the match, he runs so far up the ramp that it makes it completely opposite, where he looks like he's legit afraid of Sting. He thinks
that's fair.
He can't win this straight up on his own. You're Bret Hart.
Yeah. But yeah, Sting dominates in the beginning. But eventually, Bret Hart starts dominating. He chop blocks Sting. He works over his legs. It was, you know, the match wasn't falling apart here. It was going relatively well. And then the ref takes a bump, and then the match kind of starts to fall apart. There was a lot of fans on this show, by the way. I think it starts here. There's like 3 ref bumps in a row doing matches and all that type of stuff. It's like, yeah, you had 3 ref bumps on this show. And in the Bret Hart match and the Hogan match, they would have the ref take a bump, and then the wrestler would just attack the ref again, just so that way, I don't know what's going on there.
Who gives a shit?
But yeah, Sting mounts a comeback. Actually, there's a stupid part of this match, by the way. So Bret Hart grabs a weapon from like his trunks, and he's about to use it on Sting, and Sting notices it, and he puts it on his glove, and his glove's black, and the item he's going to use is black, and Sting uses it on Hart, and the ref catches him, but the ref shouldn't have even known because it's the same color as his gloves. So how would the ref know? I know it's overthinking it, but that's
You're right. You're right. It should have camoed into his glove. I didn't even think about that.
Yeah, I mentioned it the first time. I wanted to make sure I mentioned it. But then eventually, eventually the match breaks down. The ref's laid out, and at one point, Sting gets laid out. He's checking on the referee, and Bret Hart lays it out with an axe handle, and it's like, why did Sting put himself in position to get hit with an axe handle? Like, it didn't really make sense. And Giovanni and the commentators didn't really know what was going on. They had to explain one thing was happening, but that's clearly not what was happening. So I was like, okay, it happened. And then, the finish happens. Sting does the... Bret Hart doesn't do... I will admit, Sting does a really good superplex off the top rope. That's cool. Right under the referee's legs, the poor referee. He got destroyed in this match.
Yes, he did. Yes, he did.
Sting does the Stinger Splash twice. He does it the first time. And he does it the second time. But he over-rotates, or he overshots it, and he hits the steel post, and he's knocked out from this. And then Bret Hart grabs a baseball bat. He hits Sting once in the head, and then a couple of times in the chest. And then he goes off the second turnbuckle, and
does the elbow drop with the bat too, right? Which was a cool fucking spot, to be fair.
Yep. And then Bret Hart wakes the referee up. He locks him in the sharpshooter, and
then the referee calls for the pass-out victory. Yeah.
And the fans were pissed that this happened because they thought the match was going to keep going, as did I. So I was pissed. It's like, oh, let's put away Sting. That's not impressive.
Can I also say, so this part of the finish where he knocked himself out by dodging the turnbuckle, I liked. Right? Now, if you were to replace that with the referee gets thrown in the way of the Scorpion Death Drop and Sting also hits his head off the post.
Okay.
Then do the bat stuff and then do the Scorpion or the Sharpshooter and get the TKO win. I'd be more forgiving of this. However, if you were going to do that, why not make this an Ultimate Submission style match where each submission that they use gets them a fall? Right? 30 minutes, give them the time, cut out excess bullshit, whatever. 15 minutes if you want to shorten it even more, maybe 20. Have them go for their submission hold and make it like 2 to 3 Bret Hart. Go into Bret Hart. Done.
Right.
And then that's the final time he gets the point. He gets the point with his sharpshooter.
Yeah, I guess that
would have made this better if they had an Ultimate Submission style match, but they didn't. They just had whatever the fuck this was.
I didn't really like this match and maybe I would have liked the steel post stuff, but I think at that point there was just so much bullshit in the match.
Dude, there was so much NWO bullshit interference that it was just like, fuck this.
Yeah, so it's just like,
Yeah.
And by this point, Bret Hart's not even in the NWO. He's like an associate at the black and white.
Yeah,
anyway.
he's not even a full member. You're right. I wish they had a pink and black version for the Wolfpack. Maybe he could have joined there.
Yeah, but anyhow,
this is the British Bulldog and fucking Jimmy Anvil in pink and black. That actually would have been based. I wouldn't have minded that variation.
But yeah, I gave this match like 2 stars. It felt like they were onto something here, but it just WCW. Can see why Bret Hart,
and WCW got NWO. that's
so you can see when you watch matches, you could just watch this one match and know everything about the history about Bret Hart, about why he hates WCW. You could just watch this match and you would understand completely why. Like,
yes. There are moments of brilliance for Bret Hart, by the way, and it really is a shame that his WCW run he doesn't even look at fondly. There are moments where he's really good in WCW, like really good. They just fucked around with his gimmick so much that it just didn't matter. So.
And the end, and obviously too, when at the end of his run, his brother died, so that's probably why. He
it didn't help. It did not help matters. Yeah, he went through a lot of grief.
Yeah. But yeah, I give it 2 stars though. There was something here at least. So it's better than the last 2 matches. That's probably why I gave it 2 stars.
It was better than the last 2 matches. Yeah.
And apparently too afterwards they stretched his Sting off and everything like that. And Zero did mention this, so I want to give him credit. Stan was going through like a bad divorce or something at this time, so they had to write him off.
Yes, he was actually doing a little bit of party martying as well. Like he was just getting into drugs, I guess, and shit.
So they had to write him off.
Becoming a party animal because he was hanging out with Nash at Hall and shit. Like,
yeah, so
the temptation was real. So yeah, he took a break and then he became a born again Christian and turned his life around since. So there you go.
There you go. By the way, I did mention there was so much bullshit. Just a quick career retrospective on Rick Steiner. After WCW folded pretty much, I think he had some run in the Indies. Him and Scott Steiner teamed up again in TNA, which was bad. And then he rejoined the WWE. He's a coach pretty much. His son and Scott Steiner's nephew wrestles now, which was kind of helping him out. And now he's banned from all WrestleCons for making bad comments to Giselle Shaw.
To Giselle Shaw, which, by the way, I do want to point out that Giselle Shaw says since forgiven him for in private, but what the fuck was the group? WrestleCade? What was the group that you
it's WrestleCon.
WrestleCon decided we want a public apology, and Rick Steiner says, fuck you, I already apologized to her in private. And then they try to fucking villainize him again. Giselle Shaw didn't comment on the fucking matter, but it's like, fuck off, WrestleCon. Like, he already apologized to the woman in private. Like, you don't need to fucking stretch it out. Chill the fuck out.
It's the Tessa Blanchard.
Tessa, I found out other shit about her. The reason why she's gone is because she was doing other heinous shit other than that fucking one incident. But, like, this is Rick Steiner. Like, he's a fucking boomer, dude. Like, you could forgive him a little bit. Jesus Christ. He already apologized to the poor woman. You know what I mean?
And unfortunately, because of this, he hasn't been on he hasn't been shown on WWE TV since then because they don't want the PO now. So
it's fucking ridiculous. The people will get over it eventually.
Then we have the worst match of the whole show that I'm having you talk about because I ain't talking about this match again. I only have to talk
about it
once.
First off, should we give a full? Should we give the rating now? I think both of ours are going to be unanimous for this, right? -5 stars. Yeah. It's just as bad as I remember it. Holy fucking hell.
This is the first time I've actually watched, well, when I watched it anyway. It was the first time I've watched this match in full. This is actually why I picked, because I've never seen this match in full. So, just wanted to watch it. So, the match starts. The reason for this match was because, they faced at WrestleMania 6, and Ultimate Warrior beats Hogan, and obviously it's a win that it's a loss that Hogan never recovered from. So eventually, they signed the Warrior, and this was after the Warrior had so many stop-and-start fails in WWF. WCW decided to sign him, and he debuts. He just speaks a bunch of gibberish on Nitro, and this is probably one of the worst.
Is the word.
This is probably one of the worst feuds I think has ever happened for a major wrestling match. Basically, it's got a lot of dumb moments where Hogan, there's a segment backstage where he sees Warrior in the mirror, but he's really not there. But it's weird because we can see him, but the people I don't know, it's weird. So are we crazy too? Because we saw him. I don't know. And then they they did another segment where Warrior was standing up on he was in the what's it called? Where Stin hangs out. The rafters. He's in
the rafters, yeah.
And the WCW Hogan sees him but nobody else sees him, but we see him also, so it's okay. I'm pretty sure did AEW do a storyline like this where they actually did it better. It's some of the company did. No, WWE did a storyline like this with Dexter Lumis, actually, believe it or not. So,
sounds about right.
And then Hogan obviously took out, basically the whole storyline was that Hogan was going crazy and he could just never get over the loss from WrestleMania 6. And it's also really weird because they mentioned the fact they faced off before, but they're not mentioning where, so it's okay.
A decade in the making. A match of the decade is what they call this, by the way. By the way, In one of the goddamn segments, Warrior, he kidnaps the disciple and makes him into a warrior disciple and part of the One Warrior Nation. But if it's a One Warrior Nation, what happens if there's two people? And he used smoke, but it looked like it was, like he was getting down with Bob Marley, not really smoke, right? So it just looked like he was smoking a lot of the Mary Jane, and whatever, man. It's so ridiculous.
Yeah, this feud.
It's the most hokey bullshit. Do you know the plans of the Ultimate Warrior before we get into the match? Do you even know about all this shit?
Oh, what his plans were? No, I didn't talk about it.
Let me give you a breakdown of the delusions of Mr. Jim Hellwig here. So,
he booked this.
He booked this. Yes, he had full creative control of everything going on here. All right. Now, the reason he wanted to do all this is because, number one, he's a mark for Batman.
Okay.
You can fucking tell because everything he's doing is straight out of the DC Comics. There's like a warrior symbol that shows up in the first time he shows up on Nitro, and it lights up on the roof. And it's very much the bat signal, but it's a warrior signal.
I do have to say, though, I'm not very knowledgeable about Batman. There's a supernatural shit that's going on, though. Batman's not supernatural.
No, that's what I'm saying. He likes supernatural as well. He likes that type of element. He likes Batman disappearing, and he thinks supernatural. He thinks he could just use smoke to disappear. What he completely forgets is that Batman would use like smoke bombs to disappear.
Right.
Like, that's what he would do. So, fucking Jim Hellwig, his plans were this would launch a comic series and a cartoon show on the Cartoon Network. He wanted the Warrior character to be all over Turner. And he thought WCW would be the platform to jumpstart that. These are his fucking delusions. I'm not making this up. On top of this, Owen, he already had made a comic book series prior to, literally a year prior to coming to WCW. And oh boy, the fucking nonsense of this shit. Up until the point he sodomizes Santa Claus.
Yup, I remember this.
You are fucked in the head. Even then, he was fucked in the head. And for some reason, they thought this guy was a good idea to bring in for a match.
Also, too, we should mention, by the way, it's also the Warrior wasn't exactly a hot gimmick at the time.
No!
They tried. There's a reason it didn't work in 1996. It wasn't just because, of the other shit going on. Because the gimmick wasn't over anymore. The company had moved on. The fans had moved on.
Dude, he showed up in WCW. This motherfucker, he got the big ovation in the first night, and the rest of the time he was booed.
Yep.
Booed out of the building here every week. Except for on Halloween Havoc, because I think most of the people that bought the tickets didn't even care. And it showed. Yeah. They were probably drunk, or they were reminiscing about the old times. So,
So, yeah, we have the match. The match starts out. Hogan attacks Warrior in the beginning because he wants to make sure that, that Warrior doesn't have enough time to, get this match going in quick offense. But it doesn't work. Warrior fights him off.
They do the Roman knuckle test to strength spot again.
And Hogan loses this time because
again, like they did last time. They do the crisscross spot. Did you like the crisscross spot from back in the goddamn 60s? We're doing crisscross spots. Are you fucking kidding me?
But yeah, so eventually Hogan gets the upper hand. He starts being all gloaty. He gloats about it. Warrior's getting the upper hand eventually. Hogan dominates for a couple minutes, and then eventually the ref takes a bump, and Hogan leg drops the ref, I guess, just to make sure he's really out, and he takes out his weight belt. He whips the Warrior with it. He attacks him, and he chokes him, and the ref doesn't see it, but he's choking him with wind tape.
yeah.
So, you know.
They just have a no DQ match for a bit.
And then the Giant and other people come out. Giant inadvertently lays out Hogan, and there's a lot causes Warrior to hit a splash, but Hogan kicks out. And I think I talked about this. It seems like no matter what company the Giant goes to, he can't seem to be used right. I feel bad for him, especially
He
too.
was used right in WCW, kinda. At least he was a world champion in the beginning run. I would give him that at least.
Are you talking about when he was with?
Yes, when he was with the Dungeon of Doom. Other than the Yeti, at least they booked his title run strong. Yes, I know the first impression was kind of wank, but
whatever.
They at least fucking did it right after that fact. So that's all I'm saying.
Then, Warrior mounts a comeback. He uses the wipeout on Hogan, which the ref sees and doesn't disqualify him for. Okay.
Yeah.
Then he hits, a running shoulder tackle and a splash, kicks out. And then what's supposed to happen is Hogan's going for something. Well, first Hogan hits the big boot and the leg drop, and Warrior kicks out. But what's supposed to happen is Hogan, he gets powder out, and he goes to throw a fireball to the Warrior. So what happens?
He sets the gun. He takes the flame paper out. He lights the paper, and Warrior sells it as if it went off, but it didn't go off fully.
It didn't go off at all.
And then it goes off in Hogan's face, shearing his eyebrows and mustache.
So this bust up Hogan. By the way, did I ever tell you? By the way, I think John told you this. This kind of happened to John one time because we went to his house in New Hampshire and he tried to get the grill going, and a similar. I mean, he was fine after this. Like it was like, but a similar situation happened to John.
Yeah. He turned to the Hogan.
Yeah.
No. At least he's okay. At least he lives long enough to tell the tale.
At least two. That one made more sense because it was a grill. At least this was like Hogan, like completely fucked up. I don't know what happened.
That's unbelievable. It's just holy shit. He just.
So then the match, because the match is already falling apart, by the way. But then the match, like, here really falls apart. Like,
oh yeah. Oh yeah, it does. Oh yeah.
I will give credit to Hogan though. He does try to save this match from what little he can save it. So
yeah. Well, Warrior. After selling the non-flash that goes in his face that went in Hogan's face, he then starts punching Hogan. So he stops selling because he's like, ah, shit.
Yeah.
He just starts punching him.
So then Eric Bischoff comes out, and he comes out with Horace Hogan, and
I love how that wasn't even going to be the finish, by the way. You could tell that wasn't even going to be the finish because it was not Plan B. Everybody misconstrues this as Plan B. No, they hyped up that Horace was going to get involved. The gimmick was they were going to flash the flame paper in his face, and then Hogan was going to get the upper hand, and then fucking Warrior was going to get his comeback. That was the gimmick they were building up.
Yeah.
So.
And then Horace Hogan hits Warrior in the back with a chair. Hogan... That's how he wins, actually. He doesn't even have this finish or anything like that. That's how Hogan beats the Warrior.
He fucking... And by the way, one of the weakest fucking chair shots you will ever see from anybody ever is just a horse just goes... Dink! He fucking falls like he got shot from a cannon.
And then...
And that's the end. That's it.
Yeah, that's it. The match is over. Hogan said that was his initiation on Thunder, was that beatdown. So now he's officially in the NWO... the NWO Hollywood, I'm sorry. This match is -5 stars, like we said. So, how come he had to have an initiation, but nobody else had to have an initiation in the NWO Black and White? Okay.
I don't either, dude. I've stopped making sense of this. NWO
and then,
shit for a while.
Yeah, this was just it's really bad. And they tried to make it seem like this is a swerve, by the way, when Eric Bischoff... when Horace Hogan does this. But when he comes out...
it up on the pay-per-view itself.
Not even that. When he comes out with Bischoff, if you notice. Like, he's walking with Bischoff. Like, it's just like, what? Okay. Yeah, this match is just terrible. Yeah. And then we had the main event, which was awesome.
Yeah, we got to talk about this too, because if you had paid for this pay-per-view, right?
Yeah.
And you did not get to see this main event and how awesome it was, you are pissed. And you are doubly pissed if everybody that didn't pay for the pay-per-view got to see the goddamn show for free, which, by the way, boosted their number up that week significantly. They won the ratings that night, I think, because of it.
Yeah.
It was one of the last times they did, I think.
I think they won one more time, and that's because Raw had to air late because there was a game on. So like.
Yes, or they had that fucking weird ass horse race going on.
But yeah, so the reason for this match was, but I gotta give credit to WCW. They actually ended a pay-per-view with the homegrown guys of the build-up. DDP.
Yeah, if you get to see it.
If you get to see it.
If you get to see it.
That's what I'm saying. Let's just say this now. I'm going to talk all this positive about WCW. But WCW couldn't help themselves. They still had to be WCW and fuck it up anyways. So, all that positivity goes out the window.
Yep.
But yeah, these were two homegrown stars they built up from the ground up. And DDP won this title shot at War Games, which is what a lot of people consider the worst War Games match of all time.
It was pretty fucking awful, yeah.
But yeah, this was awesome. A lot of people legitimately thought that he was going to break Goldberg's undefeated streak. Goldberg's entrance was awesome here. I really liked it. I know we've seen this entrance a lot, but what was cool about it is when it shows him coming out, you can kind of see him, and you can see like the pumpkin like in the background and everything like that. So
yeah, it's cool. A really good fucking shot. By the way, that's the shot it ends the pay-per-view feed on, by the way. It's right at that entrance.
Yeah,
dude,
so
if you saw that and you don't get to see this match, you are mad as hell. You are so pissed off.
But yeah, the match starts. Really good match here. They start chain grappling each other. Goldberg gets the upper hand in the beginning with it because he's more of a powerhouse and all that type of stuff. DDP is able to kind of get the advantage a little bit because of his experience. They do a cool thing where DDP tries to trip up Goldberg, and Goldberg does a backflip and lands on his feet, which was awesome. And then he still trips him anyways, but the fact that happened, I couldn't believe it. And then DDP attacks him on the floor. He throws him into the steps, throws him into the barricade. DDP gets the heat onto him for a little bit. Goldberg mounts a comeback. He hits a gorilla press slam on the DDP, which was cool. He hits a flying shoulder block from the second turnbuckle. DDP hits a drop kick. He hits a reverse neck breaker, which, I always like a good neck breaker.
Who doesn't? It's a good neck breaker, yeah.
Like the person taking the neck breaker, yes. I guess.
By the way, this is like Goldberg at his peak, fucking able to kind of work a little bit, because he was really good here. Like he's not the best wrestler in the world, but when you pair him with the right opponent, he looks like a fucking $1 million here, and him and DDP were $1 million here.
Credit to DDP too. He got a lot out of Goldberg.
Yes, he did. Yes, he did. This is Bret Hart-esque performance here.
Goldberg goes for a spear. DDP moves, and he ends up landing shoulder first into the ring post, and DDP tries to win with a roll-up, but Goldberg kicks out. Goldberg does hit the spear. He goes for the jackhammer, but DDP actually has this cool counter where he counters it into a diamond cutter, which was awesome.
That's really such a great, that was so
and,
great.
DDP doesn't get to the pin in time, so Goldberg's able to kick out of it. Then eventually DDP goes for a suplex, and Goldberg counters that into a jackhammer. Goldberg pins DDP. He gets the win. He retains the WCW World Title. Afterwards, they shake hands, they raise hands, and it was great because no one turned heel or anything like that. They just went and had a match. There was no swerves, there was no anything, and it was great. And I like that a lot. This match was very good. I give it 3 3/4 stars. It's really 4, but I can't ignore the fact
you cannot ignore the fact that nobody got to see this match until the fucking night after. So yeah. I mean, you have to rate it 3 3/4, which sucks because this was a 4-star match if it actually aired. But yeah, they screwed the pooch on that. But yeah, what a great fucking performance by both guys. So apparently, people got a lot of shit for this. Like after the match, because they found out later that they went to the power plant a lot to rehearse the match, and they gave them shit for that. I'm like,
why?
Bro, who gives a shit? Like, I get, trust me, I understand. Okay, rehearsing a matches can be crazy, right? All the time. If you're doing that for every match, you don't know how to work. I get that, okay? However, when it comes to a main event match like this, you want to rehearse every spot. If you want certain story beats to hit even harder, you want a story told. The best Goldberg matches are when they're fucking story driven, by the way. This was a story driven match.
It really was.
It really was. DDP, the story was DDP wrestled the perfect match and it still wasn't enough for him to win.
Right.
That was the story. That was the story. It was brilliantly fucking told by both guys here.
Mm-hmm.
It was great. It was such a great fucking match. It's the best Goldberg match of all time. You will never find another better Goldberg match. This was the best match of all time.
Yeah, it's a shame because you know what the shame that is? I would actually make an argument that this probably should have been when Goldberg lost his streak, but knowing what we know now. Oh, here's Zero.
Hi, Zero.
Oh.
We're doing Halloween Havoc, bro. We'll call you later, or we'll talk to you later.
Not for you, dude. I got something to say about fucking Halloween Havoc. This shit sucks. This is a fucking bullshit. I swear to God. When I did this fucking episode, bro, I was miserable. I was miserable watching this goddamn show. This show pisses me the fuck off.
I agree.
I swear to God.
I agree.
So Zero, how pissed were you when I told you that your audio didn't record? So
I was ready to strangle you.
Yeah, you were.
I was ready to strangle your ass, bro.
Yeah.
Good thing you don't know where I live. You would have been on a plane to my house, and
I would have jumped through that window, right there, bro. First, like you son of a bitch.
Yeah, that's fine, bro. We'll talk to you later. I'll call you after the show. We're at the main event, so just let us get through that, dude, because we're fucking.
Shit.
Yeah.
So shit, the main event was okay. The main event, it was good.
Yes,
so
it was very good. It was very good. Too bad nobody got to see it live on pay-per-view.
I would have fucking jumped off a cliff.
But anyhow, I'll read word for word what happened when it came to WCW. So
go for it.
WCW ran Halloween Havoc 1998 to 3.5 hours rather than the standard 3-hour time limit. Due to this, many pay-per-view feeds ended while the main event, Goldberg vs. DDP, was still underway. WCW aired the match the following night on TNT show Nitro. WWE journalist Kevin Powers hailed the bout as the best match held at Halloween Havoc event while criticizing Hogan versus Warrior. He wrote, "It's hard to believe that thousands of pay-per-view customers missed the main event of Halloween Havoc in 1998 because WCW ran out of broadcast time. By some cool twist of fate, fans did get to watch the disastrous WrestleMania 6 rematch between the Ultimate Warrior and Hollywood Hulk Hogan, only to see the screens go black just as Diamond Dallas Page prepared to lock up with undefeated WCW World Heavyweight Champion Goldberg in what was the best match in the October's event's 11-year span." So that's it. That he's given a lot of praise here. It's not just the best match, on
it's
the night.
It's the best match of Halloween Havoc's history, period, up to that point, yeah.
Luke Wenke of Sports MMA said of Goldberg versus Page, "It's a great match. If more TVs carried this match, maybe the Warrior Hogan disaster would be less remembered." Yeah. WCW was forced to reimburse millions of dollars to customers who ordered Halloween Havoc.
And by the way, I have an exact estimate for that. By the way, so 2,070 homes roughly tuned into this pay-per-view at home, which means 270,000 people tuned in and paid for this pay-per-view. That's essentially what they're saying, right?
Yes.
The amount of people that that wanted a refund, 108,000 fucking people.
Yep.
That's a quarter of their audience right there. So they ended up having to refund over 108,000 people. Which is where I assume those millions of dollars in reimbursement funds went to. So, yeah, just to reiterate to people that were wondering, that's how many people actually refunded the fucking pay-per-view, roughly, was 108,000.
And I said this when I did the review with Zero originally. This show, by the way, could have been a top Halloween Havoc of all time.
It should have been!
Yeah.
Dude, the amount of fucking talent on the show, it should have been a fucking top tier event. There's no reason why this event should have not been remembered fondly. Look at the amount of talent on the show. Raven, Jericho, DDP, Goldberg, Warrior, Hogan, right?
But
these matches could have been great, and they fucked it up.
But you're missing something, James, that I'm about to say. It wouldn't have mattered because the show would be a failure because of how bad WCW fucked up the main event, because they would have had to refund everyone's money anyway, so they wouldn't have even made any money back on this paper.
Yes, you're right. You are right.
You could.
I will say this, and this is just real quick on this. If you had gotten rid of the Nitro Girl segment and at least a promo or two that didn't mean shit at the end, you would have made the airtime easily. And cut some of the matches that didn't need to be on the pay-per-view that were just Nitro matches anyways. Like, Wrath, did we really need Wrath versus Finn? No.
Like, did we really need that?
No, we didn't. But if you wanted to keep it on, you could have gotten rid of promo segments, is my point.
Yeah, definitely.
Like, it's just ridiculous that they didn't do that. It's just, fuck me, dude.
This is that WrestleMania 10 discussion all over again. Where,
Yeah, absolutely.
But yeah, that's basically the end of this. The show's terrible. I think I gave this show like a D the last time, but now that I'm having to do this again, I'm giving this like a D minus. The show is
I think we should go with. I think it's only fair to go with a D, only because. For your grade, stick with the D. Only because I think it's not fair to grade it because you had to review it twice. A D minus for the reviewing it again, but actually a D.
I think originally I said a D too because I was debating whether to give it a D because of the fact that they fucked up the main event so bad. But I think I said because if you just watch the show, you didn't even know that, you would just watch the show on the network and you would just think the show just continues. So that's why I said it doesn't affect me.
It doesn't affect you. So I'm thinking of it from back then. I argue, and I stand by, and the more I think about it, I agree with. This show is the worst WCW pay-per-view of all time. There, I said it, fight me. And the reason I say that is because even with Bash at the Beach 2000, at least, number one, they made their fucking pay-per-view airtime. Number two, they actually had 2 world title matches, and the end result was actually a good one. And you got to see that end result. And on top of that, the undercard matches that were on that show went a lot longer than 4 fucking minutes.
The only thing I can fight you on
man.
is WCW Bash at the Beach. I think damages the business more than Halloween.
It does damage the business a lot more than Halloween Havoc 98. However, the first half of Bash at the Beach 2000 was decent. We didn't even get that with the first half of Halloween Havoc.
No.
We didn't. You had one decent match that went way too short and was shortchanged to begin with in Raven Jericho. You had all the other matches that were filler at best and one match that was supposed to be a triple threat didn't even happen because of the fucking injury Bulldog sustained. You had fucking 4 Nitro Girls segments for no reason whatsoever. Fuck.
By the way, what we should mention too, the reason the injury happened is WCW's dumbass fault, by the way.
Yes, it is. You're right. You're 100% right. So, yeah, like, the more I think about it, I have to rate this an F. I have to. This is the worst show over Bash at the Beach that they've ever produced. Because, at the very least, there was a decent conclusion to Bash at the Beach. At least the first half of the show, the matches got decent time, and everything worked well. Everything went wrong with Halloween Havoc 98. Literally everything. The booking of this show was atrocious.
We should mention, by the way, one of the matches that booked so badly, the Hogan Warrior match, Warrior's pretty much done out of the company after that because they booked that match so badly.
Yes,
Like,
yes. And by the way, he was already fucking falling off anyway because it didn't really do much in the pay-per-view department. They hired Warrior and did this match in hopes they'd actually break their fucking record from Starrcade that year.
Yeah, and a lot of people are speculating they hired Warrior back just so Hogan can get his win back, too, from WrestleMania 6. So,
Which is what it is, but it's like, ugh.
yeah. We should mention, too, I think this... I mean, obviously, you're just waiting for Matt Ben, but we should also look at this in hindsight. This is basically the end of WCW being the #1 wrestling company in the world. Is after the show, pretty much.
Yep.
WWF pretty much beats them out after. I mean, they were already kind of beating them out
They were
anyways.
beating them after their, I think, Halloween Havoc airing of the main event. That was the last time they won the ratings.
Yep.
Contrary to a lot of what people say, the only other time that Nitro would have won is if they did not spoil the ending of Foley and Rock. That was the only other time they won anything. They lost every single week after that fucking airing of that night.
Except the week Raw had to move times and everything.
That was it. And even then, I think WWF did beat them in the demo. So there wasn't really much of a win. They got destroyed after this point.
Yep.
They were fucked. And they
It's
fucked
great
themselves. The management fucked themselves, and they fucked their stars over, really.
It's crazy to think that Vince Russo isn't even here yet. And, yeah, we're already seeing, like, the startings of WCW's crumble. And Vince Russo ain't even there yet. The funny thing is, Vince Russo's booking the other promotion, and it's going to the top.
Yes, but that's because he also had people that were filtering his bullshit as well.
Yeah.
Let's keep that in mind. Vince was on the pulse of what the fuck would work and what wouldn't work at that time.
Vince McMahon, anyway.
Vince McMahon, yeah. McMahon knew what the fuck would work and what wouldn't work at that time. And he had to be vigilant because he could not afford to lose WCW anymore at that point. He was clawing and fighting. Even when they were winning, they were clawing and fighting in '98. So, yeah, I mean, they had to fucking... He had to be vigilant. He had to fucking filter out bad shit. So, Russo had the perfect filter in McMahon. When he left, fuck, it was off the rails.
We should mention, too, I think a lot of people think that Vince sent Vince Russo over to WCW to destroy them because of how badly he booked this shit. I think if you kind of look at shows like this, and I think this will tell you otherwise.
Yeah, it's bullshit. It's bullshit. They are all the same. Russo is the same as the bookers that booked this show. That's just a matter of fact. So, cry me a river on that statement. It's bullshit. I'm telling you, it's bullshit. The show was doomed to fail anyway with the way this show is booked.
Yeah. But yeah, I'll still stick with the D because, you know... Honestly, too, like, the biggest... I think we need to find a good WCW show for us to review. I know we did Halloween Havoc 97, but I'm starting to question if WCW ever was a good promotion, but we need to find a good, like, show to review of WCW, just because,
Yeah, it really depends. I think there's a few really good shows. I don't know if even in WCW's heyday at the top, they ever had a top-to-bottom banger show.
I mean, it doesn't have to be top to bottom banger, but let's see like these failures right here. So it's like, you know.
Well, here's the problem though: is that you can name at least 5 to 10 top banger shows WWF had in the Attitude Era, from top to bottom, including the one everybody goes to all the time, which is Mania X7. You can also mention SummerSlam 2000, King of the Ring 2001, fucking The Invasion 2001 pay-per-view. Like, there's a lot of pay-per-views in the Attitude Era before they went to Ruthless Aggression that had a lot of top-tier banger shows. And even when the Ruthless Aggression era, they had top banger shows. They had Mania 19 as a top-to-bottom banger show with only like one bad booking decision in that whole time. So it's like...
Right.
I can't really think of a pay-per-view WCW ever had that was top-to-bottom banger. Like, objectively a banger. You know?
Right. Yeah.
So I really have to look through every single pay-per-view on that, but I don't know. I'll tell you if I find one.
But yeah, so that's the end of this video. Hopefully this goes well, so I don't have to do this a third time. If I have to do this a third time, the retro is just going to be off.
Trust me. We're good. The audio levels are moving on both of our ends. We're good.
All right, there you go.
Now let's just hope it saves to my hard drive, right?
No, don't say that. Don't say that.
It won't save. I'm sorry. We gotta do it a third time. We might as well call it off.
Watch, you won't let me call. I'm just gonna be like, oh, we're calling it off.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
no, it will be good. We'll be fine.
Now I think you're hoping that everything's gonna go well, so you don't have to come back ever.
Yeah,
again.
really, honestly. I need my break, God damn it. I need my break.
Hey, the technology sucks. You know, it's just like. You know.
I know.
But anyhow, you're on a break, so you got nothing to plug. Don't even dare plug a thing because you're on a break. You're not plugging one thing on this shit.
Well, there's actually the song I did.
Nope, you're on a break. Yeah, that doesn't count.
Fuck you. I gotta plug something that may be coming up next year at least. That's all I'll plug.
Nope, on a break.
How dare you? How dare
No, it's not
I'm
happening.
doing it.
No.
I'm the one recording, damn it. I got a song. It's a rap song coming out. It's gonna be a project that I've wanted to work on for a while called Mind Awareness. And I think when you hear the song, you will actually be pleasantly surprised with what you hear. You will be pleasantly surprised at how well I flow. I was very pleasantly surprised with how well I flew. It was my first attempt, and I think I fucking nailed it. So, if you are interested in that, youtube.com/user/jhebertside95 over on the J Hebert Studios. Other than that, I got nothing. He's right. I got nothing.
Yeah, nothing.
I got nothing.
Yeah, I got a lot. I got some stuff coming up. WWE Aftershock for this week, covering everything post Crown Jewel. And then AEW Spark, covering everything from this week. And then you're the one uploaded it, so you'll have to plug when it actually goes out. But Owen and AJ Talks, where my cousin and I will be covering.
Yeah, that will be going out either probably by Monday. It will be out by Monday this week.
Sorry it's long. We didn't attend for it. It's just what happens when you don't do a video. When you don't do a video together for a while, you just kind of go on. So we're gonna fix that. We're gonna fix that because we realize not everyone wants to watch a 4-hour Danny Phantom review, but it just kind of happens.
I mean, we'll probably split it up into 2 parts if it's 4 hours. Like, we'll be all right. We'll figure it out. We'll see you in post. I'll tell you in post.
And then, just check out, other retros. The retros might start to slow down just because the holidays are coming up, and there's just no time to do the retros as much as there was. And we're understaffed, like we said before. So if you can find the retros,
I would say if you want to do any retro, do a Thanksgiving one. Do the SmackDown Thanksgiving one with Luther Reigns.
Well, we'll see. We're on a break, so you can't come do it. So
I can't come do it, but you can get Zero to do that. I think.
That's if I pick it. So,
true.
But anyhow, that's pretty much it, guys. It's supposed to be recorded in the past. Hopefully, I'll talk to you guys in the future this time.
Bye-bye, everybody. I'm on my break now, for real.
Redoing all the classics, you heard it, then I grabbed it. Flow like Method Man, then run like I'm Rabbit. Soon as I hear the bass line, it be my FaceTime. Music's in my veins, so just in case I'm without my iPod or a media player, I'll check my